Welcome to the district. This is the first podcast in the District Imports YouTube channel, experience, our social media experience, something we've been looking to do for quite some time. But obviously us having full-time jobs and responsibilities and whatnot, can't always just sit and, just shoot the shit. Today, since this being our first podcast, I wanted to bring in a special guest, Josh Glott. He is, as you remember, our 3000 GT interview that we did last year. I think it was in summertime?
It was like, that sounds about right. May, June.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, April, I don't know. It was warm.
Yeah, it was warm.
So,
funny enough, I'm pretty sure that was our longest interview. And so that's what brought everything into fruition at that point when I realized we need to get Josh at the house, in the studio, whatever, to do a podcast and start talking about things that him and I deem important because, we can fucking talk forever. We've just got that ability to do these kinds of things. And it's really what, kind of want to, basically the whole purpose of the podcast is. This is just it that we like to have on the side with our friends and, talking about things like, it's not even like what old people usually do, like how things were or the culture of things, or as you get older, you start, identifying yourself better or identifying, the what you're doing better. You have more of an understanding of things, or in general, like life, I guess. Maybe. I know. I still can't understand.
I almost wore a shirt and I was like, So, buddy of mine, Sam O'Pear is his last name, as it was.
Yeah.
Cool guys.
Dude,
cool
love
guys.
them.
Yeah, they're awesome. He has a shirt that was actually kind of like a collaborative idea. I was coming home from somewhere, and this was the same weekend as Gatlinburg, Slam Dunk, which I didn't go to, but obviously I saw the madness happening on social media. And I was talking to one of the guys, and long story short, we ended up coming up with this idea for this shirt that says "Bring Back Gatekeeping." So the back has a cool design on it, but the front is literally just "Bring Back Gatekeeping." I was gonna wear that shirt, but I was like, I don't really want to come across as this I don't want to come across as looking closed-minded on the first podcast and coming across as like this arrogant prick. Because I'd like to think I'm somewhat open-minded when it comes to certain things within the car world. But it was just a funny. The whole idea of the Bring Back Gatekeeping came about because of what was transpiring at Slam Gatlinburg, and it just kind of turning into this, for lack of a better word, shit show.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's what we're going to do with the direction of the podcast, is not only just talk about culture, because I honestly am not, super involved into car culture. Most of the stuff that I do here is, or do with the channel, is mainly just exposure to people with awesome builds or local car shows and whatnot. But one thing that, as I got older, and what I've noticed when you and I have had these conversations, is we definitely can see what some of the trends are or how things have changed, and other topics that we have in the lineup for this for the podcast. Just to go slightly off topic, is we also want to talk about like fun stuff, like what would you do with 10 grand?
Yeah.
Pick a car for 10 grand, or 3 cars in a garage. What would you have? Or stuff like that.
Oh, the what ifs.
The what
ifs are fun to talk about.
Yeah, what ifs are, because nowadays, like with older cars being harder to even obtain, is your options are very limited now.
Yeah. The cars that we could buy 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I think of our mutual friend AJ.
Yeah.
He had an NSX, he had a Mark IV Supra, he had an Evo 8 and an Evo 9. Mm-hmm. Not all at the same time, obviously. This was just throughout the years. But like half those cars now are just unobtainium. Like you unless you find one that's like super high mileage, like bastardized, like you're going to be paying a premium for it. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, because it definitely limits the options and the creativity for younger guys getting into cars, younger guys and girls getting into cars.
Yeah, I think like before we get started,
Yeah, I know.
Of course.
We're
we're
bad at
already-
it. Dude, we find a topic and we're like heat-seeking missiles. We just lock onto it. We're like, we got to talk about everything there is to talk about in regards to that specific topic.
I was like, I was like, I don't know if we can do an hour of this. No, we definitely could. So, of course, I'm Kawa. What the fuck am I? I am one of the guys in District Imports. Aside from Mary, I own a Mark 7 GTI that's on air, was on RS's, literally the Volkswagen, copy and paste.
The code.
The code, yeah. The only thing I had a roof rack at some point. We also have a B5 S4. You guys have probably seen. I think that's what kicked off the channel. Really, we got like 1,000 subs just off the B5 when we first started, which is crazy.
Oh yeah,
that was interesting. So we got more content with that in the future. Mary and I also have a Mark IV R32 that's fairly bone stock, almost kind of the way I want to keep it. And then we also have a Mark II VR6 GTI. And then we have a Ford Flex that's liver noise tuned and on BC coilovers and is getting wheels and all that shit because we can't have a stock car.
Dude, a modified Flex is a flex.
Yeah.
Like you never see Flexes modified. So
No.
I tip my hat to you. 'Cause you know I like weird shit. So.
Dude, it started off as Mare said we needed rear struts because they were balancing. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's go get struts. Might as well do the fronts too. Might as well do control arms. Might as well do everything.
Might as well just build the old car.
I was like, babe, it's like $800-900 for full suspension. You know what else is around that price?
When in Rome.
Yeah, exactly.
Adjustable coilovers.
So, and now we can't go over
How
speed
it
bumps.
starts.
Yeah, exactly. And other than that, we have an Instagram channel at Cowabunga and then at District Imports VA. That's all my socials. I'm mainly just kind of like, do all DI stuff with social media. I don't know if you've seen it. I am not on anymore. I've been limiting myself to 30 minutes a day on social media. It's been great. But
I'm jealous. I'm very self-aware of kind of the toxicity of overusing social media.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I only have Facebook and Instagram. I refuse to download, TikTok and Snapchat and all that stuff just because I know how addictive it is.
Yep.
And I know I have an addictive personality and I'm like, I don't need more social media. I need less. I need to. So
bingo.
Kudos to you. Because
Thanks, man.
I've talked to Erica about that, about limiting my social media usage and stuff. And I talked about it. I haven't done it yet, but I am self-aware at least.
I mean, so you are, of course, my guest, co-host today is Josh Glott. Tell us a bit about yourself, man.
So, yeah, I'm Josh Glott. I live in Northern Virginia. I think it was like 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Not far. And I've been into the car game or the car scene, whatever you want to call it, for a long time. I'm 6 years your elder. Oh, so we're both in our 30s, so we're kind of in that same demographic. But so I have a 95 3000 GT Spider SL currently. As you pointed out, it was featured on the channel last year.
Beautiful car.
Longest interview. And it's like I knew going in that was going to be the case just because I could just talk forever and you can just talk forever.
Yeah.
So, so I got the 3000 GT. Obviously, I've had that since 2019. Done a bunch of stuff to it. It's kind of at a point where I look at the car as being a finished product. So I'm still gonna keep it. Still gonna take it to shows, whatever. But probably won't be. There's not a lot of plans for that car per se. Mm-hmm. Then I have a 2015 F-150 single cab V8.
Love that thing.
It's modded out. It's slammed on 22s.
Yeah.
It's wrapped. It's got a CAT scan upholstery on the interior, a bunch of stereo work. It's full exhaust, intake tune. It's the two-wheel drive V8. It's the most impractical daily, but bear in mind I work 2 miles from my house, and I do have the ability to work from home pretty much at my leisure. So
V8 daily, baby.
V8 daily, rear-wheel drive V8 daily. Then my wife has a Volvo V90 R Design.
Really?
Stock. Yeah, it's sweet. It's blue. It's got the factory 20s. It has the seats with the embossed R Design insignia.
Hell yeah.
She wanted to keep it stock because it's her daily. She takes it to the barn and she has a horse and so she goes and does competitions where she's got to drive the car into a field, so she couldn't lower it or anything. And we've done a couple little accessories like like different like the blue anodized valve stem caps and license plate bolts that match the paint, of the car, and super dark tint, and front plate delete, all that. But
that car was at the show that we were just at in December, Toys R Us.
yeah, because she came separately because it's her busy season at work, and so she came just by.
I think it's clean as shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was like, I couldn't see who was in it. And I was like,
yeah, she's had that for a little while, but it keeps it stock. And then we also have her old beater. It's her first car that she's also in her 30s. So
the Scion?
The Scion. We still have it, dude. It's got 220,000 miles on it. It's like made of rust.
It's not gonna go down, dude.
It's bulletproof. Yeah. Like there's been times where in a pinch I need to drive it.
Yeah.
Maybe the truck's getting worked on or whatever, and I go out there. We could not drive that thing for months at a time and crank straight over.
Yeah. Dude, Toyotas, man. I don't know what it is.
That is
older Toyotas.
Oh yeah, older Toyotas, dude. They're just invincible. Nothing can stop them.
You also wrote for a magazine.
Yeah, well, I still write for
Oh hell yeah.
For S3. So I was a longtime subscriber, and then back in 2022, just kind of by the product of how things happened, I ended up becoming a content contributor. So I'm not like a full-time writer or anything for them, but I do pretty much have freelance creativity over scouting features. If I recently did an article about kids having hero cars. I actually did an article to kind of circle back on what we were talking about in the beginning about social media.
Yeah.
I did a full article last year about kind of my hot take on the impact social media has over car culture, over the car scene. So I do a lot of features.
Funny enough, that's a topic.
Yeah. I mean, so I can speak very passionately about that because I have very strong opinions and feelings on that, but yeah, that's our little fleet of cars. We just have the 4. She had a Slam Ruckus. We sold that.
Oh yeah.
We sold that last year. I mean, it just wasn't getting driven. It was cool, like stretched and slammed, and we just no one ever drove. It just sat in the garage collecting dust. But I am looking at buying another car later this year, which we can maybe talk about later. If that works in, but I'm not getting rid of anything.
Okay. Okay.
Everything I have, the truck I owe I think I owe like $3,000 on the truck. I have such a good interest rate on it. I'm just kind of like letting it eat.
Yeah.
But I'm about to be like pretty much debt free, and so I'm just like, hey, why not? So there's other cars I want. I was talking to EJ about, because like we have a 2-car garage and it's full.
Yeah.
And if I get this car, it's nothing
Stacked
like
auto house, baby.
Stacked auto house. I got to remember to look over there. Can't look at the side of your camera. I got to look at this camera. So yeah, later this year. I mean, it's still very much in like I know what I want. I just I'm figuring out the financials. Where am I going to keep
logistics.
it? And the logistics exactly. Yeah. So yeah, maybe we'll circle back around to that later. But another car, potentially as early as late this year. And it would be like a build, like something that I'm going to modify.
So if you know Josh, or you've gone through his Instagram already, which is at OSSHWA Oshawa, if you got to take the time and look through his builds, because Josh, the reason why we started the interview off with your 3000 GT was because Josh has, over the last decade of him and I, more than a decade of knowing each other, has always built cars that were different in the most tasteful manner like possible. Like just you would take a chassis like the SRT. I think that was the second car that I've known you with. The first one was the Miata.
Miata, and then the SRT6,
And the SRT6 was a Crossfire SRT6, and like takes a car and just makes it uniquely his, and that was the reason why the 3000 GT was such a hit. Where I was like, dude, you made a car look so good, and like you think about it this way, right? A 3000 GT is a dime a dozen, and not in the sense it is an iconic JDM car, right? An SRT6 is definitely not as modified, but people have modified 3000 GTs for years. To take something that's already been built and then just fucking make it more unique than like you could pick it out in a crowd of cars.
Break the mold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, That was the idea.
That's why his next car is important, because we got to see what he's going to come up with. Not to put any pressure on you, of course.
Well, no, and I appreciate the kind words.
All the time, man. The first thing, now I know we were talking about this earlier, and I think like the big part of kicking this off, and this is a, I mean, it's really a hard topic to discuss about, because who the fuck am I to talk about, you know, the status of car culture in general, or, you know, who am I to talk about what people do in their free time? You know what I mean? Because
sure.
we are, you know, we live in the United States of America. We have the freedom to do whatever the hell we want, hopefully. And so like, not to like go too far. Hi, sweetheart. Not to go too far. Like, people have the ability, right, and the freedoms to do what they want to their vehicles, right? And that is when we were kids, it was kind of like, for most, I guess for like my friends and whatnot growing up, or for us growing up, it's kind of like a way where we can find our own communities, our own culture of like a shared hobby, a passion, interest, or whatever, and do what humans do, and, you know, associate in groups with, you know, our friends that have like-minded experiences or like-minded, you know, desires. And so I think like the car culture, like my uncle says the same thing too. He was the generation before us, you know what I mean? Like technically in the same generation as you. But he was, in his high school era, he was street racing in fucking Nokesville Road at the Burger King meets. And
I never really did the street racing.
Yeah.
But I did go to the BK meets off of Nokesville Road quite a bit back in the day.
And that's like an era of Northern Virginia car culture that is not very well known unless you were there.
Yeah, you know it was definitely in a if you know, you know type of thing. So.
And for him, his conversation, and I, like, he's obviously grown up, and, you know, he's gone from an FC ARC-7, EG, EK, you know, this, that, and a third, and then he went into wheeling, and then now he's got an E46, and he's got a Terminator Mustang.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, and he's just like, bought my dream car, now I want my project car. He's got his house, all that kind of stuff, but it's kind of like some of our other friends, in a sense, where like the car culture has changed so drastically where it no longer is a representation of what it used to be. But the kicker is that even a good or a bad thing? Right. Yeah. Because as kids, you know, we would always, I mean, I personally, my parents, we lived in Fairfax County, right? So I've always had, you know, modified cars, loaded cars, whatever. I never liked loud cars because I'm driving them to work and shit like that, and I'm not gonna fucking rattle my brains open.
Fair.
But like, you know, we would get a lot of, what is it called? Prejudice, you know what I mean, for having like a modified car.
Oh yeah, we get lumped into a category. Yeah. You know, like you get, especially like the Fast and Furious and stuff, like you see a modified car, and you just assume like, oh, some street racer, you know, it's just. Yeah. So yeah, I get it.
And so like to have the kind of exposure now where like you see like cops pulling over modified cars, and the cop is a person who owns a modified car, or is in some sort of the culture, or you have this exposure that's way like drastically different now. I mean, everybody knows about modded cars. People talk about cars that go up and down all the time. You know, when Airride was brand new, people were like, what the fuck?
Right. It's like blew their mind, and now it's like you just expect it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a GTI on RSs? Yeah, he's gonna air out. But like it's just different now, and I think that's kind of what it's hard for, you know, myself, the older folks, and so on and so forth to get used to, is like the change of what car culture is now. Because like everything, it's always a double-edged sword, right? We always wanted to have the ability to be able to freely modify cars, right? Then it got too big, and then we're putting like there's, you know, and I'm not political, but now there's restrictions, or, you know, state governments or whatever, or local governments are tighter on those, you know what I mean? And so obviously you want everybody to be able to modify the car, but at what point does the trend, you know, hit a wall, or I guess the bubble, when's the bubble burst? Yeah. Where it becomes no longer like this trend? And I think that's like the topic really is like, let's start from the jump. Like, what did we expect for car culture to become when we started 10 years ago? Like, did you think it was going to be like this? I mean, 10 years ago was Instagram, right?
I mean, Instagram is definitely played a big factor into getting us to where we are today.
Right.
So I would say the two biggest things that have changed, if you look back 10, 15 years, let's say pre-Instagram to today, two biggest changes is, one is I think you have a lot of people that are using cars as a vessel to gain attention, like clout, as as the kids call it. And I understand you want to build a car, and you build a car and you kind of expect some level of recognition to happen organically. But I think there's a difference between someone building a car because they're passionate about building that car, and just, attention and likes and notoriety comes naturally. They're not fishing for it. They're just, I built this, it's cool. I think it's cool. If other people think it's cool, awesome. If not, whatever. Versus people that are going out and they're doing very deliberate things to their cars, even if they don't really like or care about what they're doing, they're literally doing it as a means to gain likes, attention, followers, people putting big Instagram banners on their car. And it's all subjective, right? Because I would say, I think a lot of the things that are, popular in today's car culture are, I don't think that they're aesthetically pleasing. I think a lot of the stuff is tacky.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion. That's subjective, but a lot of people do it because it's the trendy thing to do. So they think that, okay, if I get this car and I do these very cookie cutter trendy things to it. Sorry, I know you have the GTI and RSs, but that's more of like a classic, that's more of like the formula. The formula was perfected versus getting like an FRS and putting a riveted on body kit and 50 degrees of camber and 18 by 15 wheels and a chassis mount wing and RGB rainbow unicorn throw up taillights and headlights. Like, it doesn't look good. Like nobody looks at. I don't care what. Somebody probably thinks it looks good, but I would say to the general public, you put like a bagged GTI on a clean set of wheels versus like this super like Final Boss TikTok build that's just got like body panels riveted on, dumb wing, crazy amounts of camber. Even people that aren't into cars are going to think the GTI like, oh, that looks good, and they're going to look at the other car and be like, what the fuck is that? Like, so it's kind of put a pin in that one. That is. The instant gratification, the clout chasing, all that. The second thing is overexposure. I think it's great that social media connects so many people. I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't know a lot of people if not probably for cars and social media.
Meeting your internet friends.
Yeah, meeting your internet friends. Absolutely. Yeah. We are both H2O veterans. And the amount of people that I met during the, we'll say 10 or so years that I went to H2O, that I met via Instagram or through Facebook or through a forum or something, and then built a friendship that lasts to this day. I mean, and we're 5, 6, 7 years removed from H2O at this point. There's something to be said about that. And so I think that the networking aspect of social media, especially as it pertains to the car scene, to car culture, is fantastic. But like you said, double-edged sword, having everything at your fingertips, having, you open up your Instagram and you're bombarded by reels and pictures of cars, and it does create overexposure where I think back, and this is, I'm showing my age here, but I was really big into car magazines. I still actually have all my car magazines from, when I was in like middle school, high school, and thereafter. But I remember being excited when I would pick up the newest issue of Super Street or the newest issue of Import Tuner, because it's like I had to wait to see those cool cars. It's like I would get it and I would read through it, and I would probably read through that magazine front to back to front 10 times just to take everything in. You can go now, open up Instagram and go to your Explore feed and see the same amount of cars in 10 seconds that you had to basically wait a month to see to get that magazine.
Just gonna say that, like,
It's overexposure.
Your exposure at the time was you would have the highest caliber in you know, your opinion, or most of the magazine's opinion. You have the exposure to the highest caliber of car
Yes.
once a month versus the exposure to 1,000 different cars. And so it's like, it's very, not only is it overwhelming, but it also is kind of like, all right, if that's what on Instagram, if that's what I'm seeing is what people like, and they have a shit ton of people following it, then maybe that's what I gotta build too.
Exactly.
In order to, I think
it's the herding sheep mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think one of the I guess, like, it ties into kind of another segment or topic, but when social media got much larger, yeah, he needs loving.
Dude, Bart rules.
Oh yeah, so for the listeners, Bart just jumped on my lap and he wants lovings, and his tail is in my face.
He was over here meowing next to me, and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I want to pet him, but like, I don't want to, look super distracted here.
So like when social media or Instagram came out, it was not very incentive based, you know what I mean, to have like a growing social media account, right?
Right.
And so most of the time, then we were like, all right, we have tags, like hashtags. We look up a hashtag, you'll be able to find stuff. But since the growth of social media and how algorithms work, and then these companies learning to incentivize or to influence, hence the word influencer, other people who make content, for the lack of a better term, they now have a reason to do things that are maybe, that would attract more attention, whether it be positive or negative.
Right.
And so it's like this weird thing that the growth of social media, or the change in social media, when it became less about sharing content within your friends and more about how much, not interactions, or how much, like whatever the metric is for, whatever is interactions or whatever.
Clicks, views,
exactly.
All that, yeah.
So now, when that started to change, and I think the changing point for that was probably around like the COVID era, because a lot of people lost jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if I, have been building cars for such and such time, I lost my job, and then all of a sudden I have this, this possible opportunity to build cars or build something or work something and then post it on social media and then make an income off of that, and I don't have to leave my house, or I can do this in my garage, then I've now opened a business opportunity, or even like a survival instinct in me that's like, okay, how do I understand, or how do I get more interactions on my social media posts? How do I get people to come to me for shit, or for whatever I'm doing, to generate money? And so it's like, it's kind of, I think it's kind of tied in that. A lot of the people, or the younger generation, which is no offense to them, get your bag. Like I don't have any quarrel with like how social media has changed. Like,
right.
Of course, I don't do short form content. I think our TikTok I don't even have TikTok on my phone. Meredith just posts stuff and it just goes. But like, it's really difficult for me to adhere to the new social media standards because it doesn't interest me.
Right.
And so
you don't want to do it just to do it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But for kids, like, that's what they got. Like that's our TikTok is our Instagram, or our Vine.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And now that the corporate, and this is like very corporate, anti-corporate, whatever bullshit. I'm not trying to spit, but now that they've changed so that way they make both positive and negativity, or whatever it is the standard for social media interactions are, more adherent to culture, especially now into cars, it's very fucking hard to find things that are genuine anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to find, or to convince someone, hey, like, while you built your Omnicamber BRZ, or whatever, or every single LS400 ever, now that I can't buy a fucking clean one anywhere.
Yeah, they cut the whole fender tubs out now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, it's like, yeah, like, this is great, but when it's your daily, when it's you have to rely on your income on this particular mode of transportation, and like it's like at what point are we not convincing ourselves that this is kind of stupid? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's tough. I honestly I give blame to the change in social media habits because of how social or how like Instagram, Meta, TikTok, whatever, all that stuff, how they changed how incentivized you can make social media or how you can incentivize it to be predatory towards these kids and shit. But at the same time, it's like, I'm too old to even fucking care anymore.
I know. I know. It kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, which is, the shift that I saw is you had people that would build cars, and then if something came of that, let's say you built a car, it was cool, and then it got recognized, that then turned into, man, maybe I can make a YouTube channel documenting my build, talking about the details of the car. It happened organically. In my opinion, it happened in the sequence of events happened in the way that they're supposed to. Nowadays, though, you have, especially the younger, I'm talking like 25 or under, look at YouTube, look at social media as like a viable means of income. Like they look at that as like, that could be my job. And so instead of building the car and then just it kind of naturally, organically turns into something later, they're going in with the mentality of like, they're going into the mentality social media first, car second, of like, I got to build this channel. I got to get attention and likes. And like, I'm going to build the car in the way that I think it's going to get me there the fastest. Not because this is how I wanted to build it and then something came of it, but I'm going to just build it and try to jumpstart. Like, where's the easy button? I want to like, what appeals to the masses? Let me just do really dumb, unhinged, like that guy who, he completely fell off the face of the earth, but that like Stancy Pants RX-8 guy, that
I was just thinking
that
about
blue
that
RX-8 with the gold wheel. But yeah, that guy literally like
that blew up too.
I'm sure the guy, probably was like, I actually really liked what I did to my car, but like, dude, what that dude did to his car sucked. And I know that's car modification as a whole at large is subjective. I get that, but like, you could tell that what he was doing to his car, he was doing it to get a rise out of people. He was doing it to get views and likes, and it succeeded. And then, whatever, his car like burned to the ground, and apparently there's like insurance fraud or something. I don't really know the full story, but that's like a prime example of, on the flip side of this, you have someone like Mike Burrows, who created StanceWorks, who he was actually just on Brian Scotto's podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Brian Scotto's podcast is that's like
dude.
goals. Like he's had all the ex-Hoonigan guys like Venanatra and Ron Carr, and he had Hurt on there. Anyways, I'm tangenting. Mike Burrows was just recently on Brian Scotto's podcast though. But Mike Burrows is a guy who to me, he's the definition of you did something out of love, out of passion, organically, and it turned into something. He was just building slam BMWs, and he did the whole like the rusty car and everything, and he documented like a road trip where he drove that old 5 Series across. And this is back pre-Instagram, and he gained a lot of notoriety on just like forums and stuff. Then he started StanceWorks. StanceWorks, again, very organic. People joined on their own free will, and just it was a big community. It was all about respect and sharing information. And over the years, he's built a brand out of it. He didn't do anything with the intent of it turning into a brand. He did it because he just loved cars, and like people just so happened to take an interest in what he was doing and thought it was cool. And then over the last however many years, decade and a half or to almost 2 decades at this point, it built the forum, and they started selling merch, and then that turned into YouTube channels. And now he's, Mike Burrows is pretty much like a household. He's been to SEMA multiple times. He's like a household name in the industry, but he didn't get there by like, let me do really, stupid, viral things. He was just like, it would be cool if I did this. If people like it, cool. If they don't, whatever. I'm going to do it anyways. And to me, that's like the formula. And again, this is all opinion based, but that's like the formula you should take be into cars first, and then be into the notoriety, the attention, and everything, social media second.
Yeah.
Not the other way around. But I think a lot of days kids see follower counts as like credibility. They see follower counts as like a measure of their own success.
Shit.
Oh man, my friend has this many followers. He has 2,000 more followers than me, and then they look at themselves as like, well, I guess I suck. And I'm like, dude, who cares? That's not real life. Like Instagram is
point.
like if your real friends interact with you on or off social media, and your family interacts with you on or off social media, like that's all that really matters. Everything else is just noise.
Yeah.
That's in my opinion.
Point, dude. Like everybody wants, humans naturally want credibility.
Of course.
They want to be told that they're doing something right?
Absolutely.
So that brings up another thing. The medium of which social media is presented now is based off of fucking interactions and clickbait and whatnot.
It is.
But before, it was based off of like forums. Like it was like,
Dude, I miss
Vortex.
forums.
Oh my god,
I miss
dude.
forums.
Vortex, like if you were on the car lounge in Vortex, it was a fucking hellhole. Like you were going, if you didn't go in with a bulletproof vest and thick skin, you were getting
the flame
down.
suit.
Exactly.
You'd always have to say, with the little asterisks like flame suit on when you go in there and you talk about something that's really divisive.
Oh yeah, and
I remember that.
It still was a good time. It taught me stuff as a kid. You know what I mean? Like what not to do and what to do. Because I'd have stupid ideas and I'd be like, I don't know, should I shave my bumpers first or do things like suspension and whatnot?
Yeah.
And people were like, you're an idiot. Why wouldn't you lower your car first? Lowering your car first is the biggest, improvement. And then you can try to learn body work. I didn't listen. And then I looked at my shit and I was like, I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I should have listened.
I should have
listened. Like tough love.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was a really big sense of community on forums that I feel like is lost on social media.
100%. And so I need you to come with me for this year. I was going to bring this up. The Lowered on the Lawn experience.
Already registered.
Oh my God, dude.
Did you? All right, I never tangenting. Well, I mean, talking about Lowered on the Lawn.
Booth car?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
So they reached out to, I don't know if you had played a part in this. They actually reached out to me.
Nathan?
I don't know who it was. This is the guy who runs
Lowered on the Lawn?
Lowered on the Lawn.
Thank you, Nathan. Love you.
Yeah, he
I just did his documentary.
Let's see, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, I saw I saw the content that you've done for Lowered on the Lawn thus far. They randomly reached out to me and said, "Hey, hello, we're searching for high quality vehicles to showcase on the lawn. We would love to have you down if possible." Yeah. So I've wanted to go. I've seen yourself, a couple of buddies that have gone, and I mean, just the vibe looks amazing.
That's the whole.
I didn't plan ahead. Enough. I didn't really know about it 2024.
Mm-hmm.
I knew about it kind of into 2024, but I didn't really plan accordingly for 2025.
Right.
So now, I knew after watching your videos last year, I was like, man, I really want to go to that. So I already registered for the lawn, whatever.
Perfect.
And then also I hit up Corey Fogel last night.
Hell yeah.
Because he's finishing his whole. He redid a bunch of stuff on his 60
GTO.
Yeah, with 66, 67, I don't know. I don't know enough about old cars. His 60s GTO, he refreshed a bunch of stuff on it. And he said it's going to be done by June. And Lowered on the Lawn's in August. So he registered. He sent me the screenshot last night.
Dude, let's go. That's
Corey's going to come. Because
awesome.
Corey built, that dude knows his way around clean cars.
Incredibly talented man.
Very much so.
Dude,
much so.
I'm excited. And I think that was... I'm happy that influenced you to go because
100% was because of your coverage of videos because I didn't know anything about it prior, and I saw it and I was like, how am I missing out on this? This event looks incredible.
Oh yeah, dude, I got the chills off that.
Hell yeah, dude!
It's the whole point of that video, the documentary, was to showcase Nathan is Nathan Riccio, an owner. I guess an owner of a product can usually shows how the owner's personality or how they are as a person if they provide a good product. You know what I mean? If they give a shit enough about something, it's going to be good, right?
Yeah.
Nathan really cares about that event. He really cares about his town in West Virginia. He really cares about, providing for himself, the community, his local community, and then the car community in total.
That's what it's about.
And exactly. And so when we did the fall meet, it wasn't even really a show. It was just a meet.
They did 2 last year, right?
Yeah, they did 2.
Okay.
He does one in spring and he does one in one in fall. And we kind of tagged up with him as like, hey, we're gonna come along. I'm gonna, I kind of have some ideas. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But really, like the experience was, I need people to understand that this show is what it felt like when I went to shows for the first time and started meeting people social media.
Yeah.
Like finding people in the parking lots of showgrounds, talking, shooting the shit,
Yep.
and like conglomerating or, getting people's numbers and whatnot and understanding, basically that. And so it did a really good job.
Well, I was going to say, even though Lower
He did a great
Lawn
job.
is not like a Volkswagen Audi centric show,
Right.
I will give credit where credit's due in that I always, having a lot of friends, I've never owned a Volkswagen myself, but I've had tons of friends throughout the years that have had or have Volkswagens and Audis, and therefore a lot of times like H2O and VAG Fair and stuff like that, like I've gone to a lot of these events and the Volkswagen community just knows how to throw like a proper good times, good vibes event. And when I was watching your videos on Lowered on the Lawn, it kind of gave me those same vibes of those like Volkswagen Audi centric shows, at least not necessarily the cars there, but just the vibe and the overall feeling and the aesthetic, and just it kind of reminded me of like I've never been, but it reminded me of like Riverside.
Yeah.
Where Riverside's like a really small, like, well, I don't want to say really small, but subjectively speaking, it's a kind of a procured group of cars. It's not like 1,000 cars. It's like 100 really cool cars driven by 100 really chill people that are there, to network and to look, admire one another's builds, not to go and get attention, not to try to get followers, not to go not for virality, but they're there because they share the same common interest, the same passion. And that is the 100% the same vibe that I got from watching your videos, from looking at the pictures on their website, the photo galleries and everything. And I was like, damn, like that's that high that I'm chasing.
Yeah.
Because I go to a lot of I still go to a lot of car things because one, I get really crazy FOMO if I don't. Because I'm like, if I'm just sitting at home like watching TV or playing a video game, there's like a car thing that day, I'm like I should just go.
Yeah.
Like even if I don't really want to go, like I go just kind of like it. I don't know. I get FOMO if I don't. Yeah. But I think a lot of that is I go to a lot of these car things because I'm chasing that high of those few select shows that really just check all the boxes for you. I'm like, I look at it as if I go to enough shows, one of them is bound to make me
happy
and get that
feeling. Or it fills the niche, or it scratches the itch.
And there's still quite a few shows that are like all of Sumo Speed's events are awesome.
Oh,
like Beach Bash and stuff like that. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Lowered on the Lawn, Riverside, I think, is still a thing.
Yeah, Southern was
is SOO. SOO is not still around.
SOO is not a thing, but it's now. Oh shit! I forgot the name of it. It's something like Southern European Experience or something like that, or European Experience or something like that. And that's like kind of what like Nathan really. I guess he did a lot of research on what shows made shows, and of course, like him being in West Virginia, he's like. Dude, you guys have to come drive. Like,
it's not that far. I mean, it's
3 hours.
It's like 3 hours. I mean, it's not the worst, and it seems like it's pretty chill road.
Shit, I drove. The one year we went to SOO in 2015. Shout out to Matt Wilson for that fucking idea because that was amazing. It took us 24 hours to get to Georgia.
God.
Because everybody broke down.
Yeah. Cracked your oil pan.
Yeah, exactly.
Your axle, like broken axle. Your knuckle popped out.
Yeah, exactly. So. I think so that's like kind of where, and it ties again. This ties back into like the culture of things, right? Because like when we went there now, so I'm not gonna. This is kind of I want to say it not on the nose. I mean this with like respect in like the highest degree, right? So like when we got there, Nathan's message, I guess, to like the people that are like, hey, like this is a meet, but like go drive, right? He even says that in the interview. He's like, I want you guys to go explore, go drive West Virginia. Like you will not have this experience of car roads because it's so far into West Virginia that you wouldn't be there for any other reason,
right,
unless you live there, right? And he gets to live there and experiences the mountains and the roads and whatnot. So he mentioned, you should go drive. So when we got there, I was ecstatic because the Mark 7, while it's still on bags, I did a number of like performing mods that you would do to a car that's on, I guess, coilovers, like upgraded rear sway bar, Heim joint end links, and stiffer control arms in the front, and trying to learn. Anyways, so I wanted to go experience what these roads were, but I also didn't want to die, so I don't want to understeer into or off the mountain.
Drive all the way out there.
Yeah,
couldn't make it to the show. Totaled my car.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't drive hard at all. I mean, we were very respectful, to the state laws and whatnot, and so we didn't drive hard at all. But it was just the experience of being out, being able to drive and not have to worry about anything. And if I have to, that was probably the pinnacle of the entire experience and then hanging out at night, like around the campfire and like shooting shit, talking jokes, and like hanging out with people you barely get to see. Like the going out, driving, spending the entire day, like driving, stopping somewhere, taking photos, taking videos. Everybody's, shooting the shit. We had I did part of the interview with my buddy Mike from ECS Tuning, and like we sat him down in this like wooded area, and like 2 donkeys came out of nowhere. And like
you can't script that.
Yeah,
That's
you can't.
awesome.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like it was just only things that could happen in West Virginia, and so like there was another part of the group. Like all of Nathan's very inclusive. He's like, if you're part of this event, here's the event schedule. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna drive. We're gonna do it. But there was like another half of the group that didn't want to go do like driving and stuff like that. They were like, sitting in the showgrounds, quote unquote, because it wasn't really a showgrounds, but sitting in the showgrounds and just stayed, there the entire weekend. You know what I mean? Which was, we're missing the point. The whole point was to go drive and experience and, hang out with your friends. And so this group, and this is not an attack on anybody. This is just me giving an analyzation. I have lots of respect to y'all. Y'all know who you are. But they just stayed back.
Yeah.
And like they clicked. You know what I mean? They just clicked together and just like, making reels and, not really like, chatting around. And they're younger.
Yeah. I'm laughing because I was looking at the photos, the gallery on Lowered on the Lawn's website the other day. Mm-hmm. And kind of same thing. I think they wanted. I mean, a lot of high caliber cars there. Mm-hmm. There was a couple cars there though that, as you're saying this, mm-hmm. I already can picture in my head which were the car. I can picture the specific cars that stayed back, and just based off of the car itself, how it's modified. Yep. I already know. Like I would bet money on like. These cars are the ones you're talking about.
And they were because I don't really deal, I think this is like a trauma experience or something like that. I don't deal well with like clicks because like I've never understood people who like not tight-knit groups, but like go to a public event and then you are not inclusive of everybody around you. And it's not that they weren't inclusive, right? We've had great conversations. I know them from the internet. They're great human beings. Love them to death. They're young. You know what I mean? They're getting a lot of attention on social media, and like they had pretty well, I would say the quality of the actual cars themselves was not poor. You know what I'm saying? Like the actual parts and what they did, and
the execution might have been not everybody's cup of tea, but the actual the core of the fundamentals of what the car was equipped with wasn't bad.
It wasn't fucking cars on washers. You know what I'm saying? And
washers, XXRs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but my point is like I had, and maybe this is just a weird thing for me personally, but my opinion. I would have wanted them to share the experience that I had driving with everybody else and talking to people who were like, hey, what's your car? What are you doing? Like, what would you do and stuff like that? Instead of just being the cool kids in the corner or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a really like I never really had that. So to speak on the trauma point of like, I was a school photographer. Everybody fucking loved me, right? Because like, I'm taking pictures of everybody. You have to like the school photographer. You want to get your picture taken. So I didn't have that issue, but it's just weird when like there's this great experience. We're gonna go out and drive and shit like that and go have fun, and you just want to hang back and take pictures in the same place, or go drink at a bar, or like not come out. You know what I mean? And then like it's like the adventure was like. Bro, when you play video games with your friends, right? You don't just sit in the fucking main menu. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You go adventure.
You go and you experience what you're there to experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's sad. I want them to have that experience that I showed. Like I was like, hey man, you got to come with us. Like you got to come with us. Like you got to come with us. And they didn't. And so I was like, damn, that's really kind of sad. Because
that's the changing of the tides.
I know.
That's a lot of a lot of people would rather. Those guys would rather just hang back and make content and stuff like that. So if they watch this video next year, they can all just put Gap cams on their cars. And I hate that. I hate the amount of like a stock Elantra in. Like I get it, bro. Like it's for what it is, like factory whatever. But like all these like stock Camrys and stuff with like I got my Gap cam. Like, dude, shut up. Dude, I don't care. Like your car sucks. Yeah, like no one cares.
Nobody cares about.
No one cares to go watch your stock TRD Camry race an Altima with your Gap cam. But anyways, they can all put Gap cams on their cars now, and then they can go drive. Yeah. And still experience. And then when they're done, they can go upload their content and put some super like illegible funk music overlays, and make content off of it, dude.
And that's part of the reason why I don't do short format media, dude. I can't stand the fucking. It's the Control-C, Control-V. It's copy and paste, dude.
1,000,000,000%. Yeah. And that's like I always say. I've made this comment before on social media, on like my Facebook and stuff, where I always say creativity is free. Yeah. Like it costs $0 to do something different than the next guy. I understand that. Sometimes it might take a little bit more research and a little bit more heavy lifting and work, but like, and I'm like, some people will say, oh yeah, but like being creative can be expensive because you need, I'm like, not really. It
depends.
Like my 3000 GT, I bought that car for $10,500 back in 2019. The base price of the car was cheap. And then a lot of the stuff that I've done to that car, it's an older car, it's a rare car. A lot of the stuff was hard to find, but it wasn't expensive. It just took effort. And I feel like that's where, because people want instant gratification, they get a car that takes no effort to find, then they do mods to it that take no effort to plan and execute, because it's been done a million times. There's like it's cookie cutter. Yeah. I use that term a lot, but it's very true, where it's like, oh man, like this guy has this car with these wheels, with this, and look how many followers he has. So if I go and I follow the same formula, it'll get me there. Yep. And it's not creative.
It is extremely unfortunate that you're right. It's part of that, again, this goes back to the social media thing. Part of that goes back into how we're trained into how to use social media, open up your phone, scroll 6 seconds, scroll 6 seconds, scroll. And so it's like
doom scrolling.
Yep. And so people do that with, I think it's just representing of what car culture is. Dude, fucking people do that with any culture now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, not just cars. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. With fashion, with shoes,
food. People are doing people
eat food because it's trendy.
Because it's trendy. You know what I'm saying? And so like I get it. And I again, it goes back to I'm 100%. If that's how you want to make your bag, do it. As long as it is somewhat positively influencing. The fucking culture.
As long as it's positively influencing, and as long as it's not disruptive.
Right.
Because you have like takeovers and shit like that, very disruptive.
Right, exactly.
Paints a bad picture for anybody and everybody in the car community.
And this may sound kind of different because I'm kind of a dad now, right? But I want, if like for kids in general, right? And this is why like, there are multiple times that I've done in suspension installs or modifications for kids that I meet that I buy and sell parts. I meet them, they're like, yeah, I want to get into this. I don't know how to do coilovers or whatever. I'm like, dog, I got a free weekend in fucking February.
Yep.
Bring me your car. Like we'll install coilers. I'll show you everything to do, so that way when you go do modifications or whatever, you know what you're looking for. And the whole point of that is that I want that generation of kids to not harm themselves in any way with modifying cars.
Absolutely.
And then I don't want to like be a dad, but like I want you to understand. I want that child or that kid to understand when they're getting into this to not follow the shit that is harmful to social media,
Right.
Or to car culture. Sorry.
Yeah, the basically avoid the toxicity.
Exactly.
Because it's social media is a very slippery slope. Like,
Yeah.
I grew up in the generation where, like, I got my first cell phone when I was probably like 11th or 12th grade, because I mean I got it out of necessity because I'd started driving. I had a part-time job at Subway, slanging subs,
Slanging subs.
and I needed it in case of an emergency if I got into a car accident, a car broke down, whatever.
Yeah.
And then by like the end of senior year, I think I'd gotten like the original T-Mobile Sidekick. I'm really showing my age
fucking
here.
love this Sidekick.
Fucking cool, best phone
Dude,
ever.
I had the ID.
I miss the Sidekick,
too,
man. It was such a
man.
cool phone. But nowadays, literal kids, like children, are getting phones. And I remember the first time, like when it became like a normal thing for like somebody, let's say like under the age of 10, to have a cell phone. It like blew my mind. I was like, what is happening? But now it's just, and I get there is some benefits to it. Assuming the parent sets up the phone correctly, puts the proper parental controls on it. It's not all bad. But kids having phones at such a young age and having the access to things like Instagram, like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, kids are very susceptible to believing everything they see. They see it, they see it this way, and that's
influenced very easily.
Yeah, they're exactly. They're influenced very easily, and that's what's scary, just as a whole for the younger generation. Is just it is up to us. It is up to adults, older people, to kind of guide them, and that definitely holds true in specifically like the car community. Is to kind of show them here's the. I mean, at the end of the day, cars is very expansive. It's a lot of different subcultures and stuff. But, it's like, are we failing them? Like, I know that's why I didn't I didn't wear the bring back gatekeeping shirt. I was like, that's like me eating my own words. If I'm like saying this and I'm wearing a bring back, because that was a joke. The shirt's a joke. I don't necessarily agree with that 100%, but
it's not their fault, right? Because
it's not. You are right. It's not their fault.
Right. But it just sucks because for our child, right? Like I can't be with her 24/7, right?
Sure.
You know what it is, or what is with her 24/7? A phone.
Yeah.
Right. And she has one because she walks and does stuff, and like it is her way to communicate with her friends, especially back home and here.
Absolutely.
Regardless, like we have those bumper guards and whatnot presented for her to keep her away from things that are detrimental to mental health.
You have some of the doors locked on the phone, basically.
It's not that we're trying to keep her away from. They exist, regardless of her not being able to see them. They'd exist. But the point is like I don't think it's time for you to know or process that this exists.
There's an age or a time and place. You kind of ease them into it.
Right, exactly.
Because they're going to get exposed to a lot of this stuff, regardless whether it's through their phone. But
exactly,
you're at least trying to limit and monitor what they are and aren't able to. I mean, I think that's I think that's very normal.
The issue that I have with car culture, I'm glad we're even having this conversation. I know it's been like the whole topic, but the issue that I have is that it's really hard to convince an entire culture to not follow the wrong thing when the wrong thing is highlighted or is spotlighted for being the right thing.
Hit the nail on the head.
How do I?
1,000,000%.
As a person, I'm extremely thankful for the YouTube. The YouTube has, I think, like 3,100 subs right now, which is outstanding for like a year.
Yeah.
I never expected this. I'm fucking pumped. How do I, as a person, who the fuck am I, right?
Right.
As a person, to be like, hey, I understand that this TikTok person has done such and such modifications to the car, but I don't think that this is going to be the plan of action for you if you're trying to reach a certain objective, because here's the plethora of reasons. The car is built for, for interactions. The car doesn't really, it doesn't really represent someone's actual like artistic creativity. It's literally a copy and paste.
Slapped together for views.
Right. Like I would have to have a 5-page paragraph or essay on why I think that vehicle, it was not meant for being a representation of a person who actually enjoys cars.
Sure.
Does that person have even a stranger? Is that person going to have the attention span, one, to listen to me like an old man, tell them that this is not the way things are supposed to be, or how it's supposed to be done? And then also, who the fuck am I to say that?
No,
You know what I mean? So,
I agree 100%.
But the topic of gatekeeping,
yeah.
so, and As It Was is an amazing, you guys need to go, for listeners, you guys have to go check out As It Was. They are a local, they are a local car community in the DMV area with a team of, I think, 5.
Yeah, it's a small team.
Yeah, we have, so Joe Wynn hit me up. He's like, hey man, Joe and Sam hit me up. He's like, hey man, do you guys want, I got a shirt for you. It's this is my As It Was oil change shirt.
Yeah,
it's white. Yeah. He's like, I got a shirt for you. Can you wear this, our next video? I was like, absolutely. I told him we're going to do a shirt exchange where we give him some DI stuff.
Hell yeah.
I fucking love those guys. I love their content because like Sam is he's engaging, you know what I mean? And he's funny as shit. I've never even met him.
They're down there. So I've been friends with Sam on Facebook for years, and I only just recently met him. And now I've actually hung out with him a handful of times, but I met him for the first time back in, it was either late August, early September when they did a little like cookout meet up in somewhere in Maryland. Germantown, Gaithersburg, I don't know. I think it started with a G.
Yeah.
And this was right after Lucy, my cat had passed. And so like I was in a really dark space, but I like threw myself together and, took my car out there, and I ended up having the best time. Like, it was so chill. Everybody was so welcoming. Like I said, that was my first time ever actually meeting him in real life. Super cool, grounded, down-to-earth guy. Like, completely took my mind out of the dark space that it was at. And, like, it was a very small, close-knit, I would say, maybe between 30 to 50 cars, and everybody brought food. It was like a cookout, and I was like, this is what it's all about right here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Everybody, like, it wasn't a bunch of people like live streaming. They made an after video, and I may have taken like a picture, like share at one point, just like a little, like showing the location because it was very scenic. But people were there to be with. They were there to network, to talk, to hang out, to eat, to kick it, and it wasn't like. It was like almost like we unplugged for a couple hours and just literally we're living in that moment, just enjoying everybody's company.
Yeah. And that's the whole point. You know what I mean?
The entire point.
It was supposed to be like that. Cars were supposed to be like that. Everything about this culture was supposed to be like that. And of course, like, it's hard to try to get the attention of people in this market of, social media. But regardless, the concept of gatekeeping is, to me, I understand. This goes back to a couple of things, and there's a particular culture I follow. You've seen me run competitions and whatnot, where I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get striked or people get upset. There's a particular culture where you can go purchase something, and then you could, use it for, personal defense or for competitions and whatnot.
Sure.
And unfortunately, just like in car ownership, a lot of people, for the bad reasons, have those particular items. And to me, it's a sore spot because I want to be able to enjoy this hobby that I have.
Right.
But I don't want, unfortunately, they can harm people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to be harmed.
Right.
And neither do I want my loved ones. But people with I'm not going to call people stupid or anything like that. I think just ignorance or the not ability to learn, research, understand, and go through the proper training to learn how to handle such items.
Yeah.
It is, if you don't do the things that a responsible human being should do and train yourself or teach yourself, it's just like in car culture, and make the thing supposed to be either an extension of yourself, or I'm trying to blend these two, like an extension of yourself, or just like a tool, you know what I mean, and not like a personality or whatever. It's tough because like in the topic of gatekeeping, like I want people who own that item or into cars to know everything.
Yeah.
Like I've had in my training and competition or competition experience, like I've had thousands of dollars of training and competition or training in general. And experience and so on and so forth. So when like my sister wants to, defend herself or, whatever, the approach that I have is the same if it was somebody who was brand new or wasn't related or whatever. And the reason is because I need them to understand that this is a very dear or important thing to me, but it also, if they don't, it could change their life forever, or it could cause mental issues or whatever. Like car culture and mental health is a thing.
Oh gosh, very much so.
It is a thing, dude.
Very much so.
Social media is.
It's the whole. Anything involving like an inanimate object, like a material object, of like mine's better than yours.
Yep.
The biggest, one of the negative byproducts of social media is people comparing what they have in their lives to what other people have, and that's a very slippery slope. That's a very interesting subject because people only share what they want you to see on social media.
Right.
So I mean, I'm just as guilty as anybody of like I see things online and you're like, must be nice, but like you don't really know what hardships they went through or are going through to achieve that. How much they hustle, and that's why like there are some so. I don't think like all like influencers are necessarily bad because you have people like Cletus McFarlane, who he does a lot of good stuff and like he's very transparent, and he shared a video fairly recent of like kind of his whole story of how he got, and like dude hustled and grinded to be where he's at. 100%. So it's not all bad, but going back to what I was saying, a lot of people, especially again going back to younger kids who are easily influenced, they see things and they judge themselves. They're overly hard on themselves. It's good to like see something and like aspire to have goals.
Sorry, keep going.
It's good to like look at something and aspire to have goals and like I want to get to that, but don't be so hard on yourself because you don't have it yet, and don't,
because it takes time.
It takes time, and then also it's like not. I think the biggest thing that I think people fail to realize and understand when they're looking at social media is you see someone post stuff and you're like, their life is amazing.
Yeah.
But they're obviously not showing all the bad things. They're not showing when they went to the hospital. They're not showing when their dog died. They're not showing, when they got in an argument with their family. Like they're not showing when they got fired from their job. Like they're only showing the good things.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's not, that's what I was saying earlier. Like social media is not real life.
Yeah.
It's bits and pieces of real life, but you're not seeing the whole picture.
Yeah.
And you gotta look at your own life and like compare it accordingly.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest thing.
That is huge because like shit for last year for Meredith and I was great, and then it was tough, but like to put in the same perspective,
I think you and I had a very similar 2025.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Fuck 2025.
Yeah,
so.
Agreed. We I taken a picture, recently, and I posted on the story because I just like post and go, and I use social media to talk to homies. But I like to post stories because it's fun. Let people know I'm still alive.
Absolutely.
And it was both the R32 and the B5 in the driveway, and like 18-year-old me would be like, that's the fucking driveway, dog. That's the shit that I want. Right next to it's the Mark II, right? And it's like that's exactly what I wanted as a kid.
Absolutely.
To me, it felt great in that moment, and then I went back inside and enjoyed my time with like the family and shit like that. But to the in that story, I had a couple messages from homies like, dude, that's the fucking dream right there. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, holy shit! Like it puts it into perspective. I'm like, I have no idea. Like the channel does know. For those who've been watching us from the beginning, when we bought the car, it took 1 year out of my life.
Yeah.
A car, an idea in a project like DI took an entire year out of my life. The posts and the content that we posted in that year have always been like in a positive light, right? Because that's what our goal was. But in that year, I had lost a couple groups of friends. I've lost a few interactions or events that I should have gone to see with friends and family, but because I was spending my birthday, I was spending building the Mark V R32. I was in the garage by myself, and the mental toll that it took for me to be in solitude, not necessarily solitude, because obviously I went to work and whatnot, but what I'd never showcased or talked about or discussed was I went to therapy because of that year. You know what I mean? And then when Maggie passed, and like it brought in a lot of unfixed trauma from my aunt passed in the same manner from lung cancer or lung issue. She was transplant that failed. But so like all of those things were coming back, and I had nothing like. Yeah, I had homies come by and stop by. We would do barbecues and stuff like that. But like, because times are rough, I can't drop $200 on a weekend on food and stuff like that. And I don't want to ask people to bring stuff to watch me work on a car. So I'm like putting myself as a burden towards people. And of course, that's why I'm on fucking therapy. So like, but it's important to note that like, dude, like that time that I built getting that car, it's not even show ready, right? It's not even show ready. But the time that I spent to actually get it to go and learn about myself and how I treat myself and how I respect myself and to keep myself like pushing on. My objective was never to do anything more than to drive that fucking car. Yep. That was it. Like, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to give this car to the love of my life and be like, hey, this was your first car. I present to you a running and driving, V5 S4.
Yeah.
And this is my love for you. Like, I want you to have this because I know how badly you wanted this. This is the reason why we got it. And so when we finally got to drive it, that feeling, I could have never recorded and showed it to anybody. And I didn't record it on purpose because the first drive was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It was one whole year of me torturing myself, spending in the garage till 2 a.m., learning, researching, and whatever. And like, how do you showcase that? How do you show that to other people?
Right.
And so,
how do you showcase to other people, and how do you showcase it in a way that it carries the amount of weight?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you could show it to them, but it's going to be hard to paint that picture of how much weight and how much like depth there is to that moment.
Right. And that car was built for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it 100% was built for us. And this goes back to the lower to lawn experience. I want to give the younger generation, I want them to understand how to have that same feeling. You build a car and it's not for anybody else.
Yep.
You look at it and it's like, holy fuck, this is mine.
You build it for yourself, or in the case, yourself and your significant other. Yeah.
Right. Like the Mark IV R32, when we finally got it, it's dailyable, has no check engine light, the AC's fixed, everything is fine.
A Volkswagen without a check engine light?
I swear to God, you can hop in it right now. It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy. And Meredith and I drove it, 10 hours in one day, 8 hours in one day. We would drive it, and I daily it now for work. And I get in the car, I park it at work, I turn around, and I'm like, that's my fucking dream car.
There you go.
How am I supposed to give you that feeling?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so difficult. And so
I get it.
When we made the Mark V R32 love letter, it was like, this is my love letter to show, like, I want people to understand that when I drove the Mark V R32, this is my emotion that I felt. This car is not a bad car. Everybody says it's a bad car. But back to the gatekeeping topic, and then I don't know how pressed you are for time, but we can, as Neil deGrasse Tyson says, we got to land this plane at some point.
Yeah, no, I'm good on whatever.
Fuck it, we ball.
I know we have some other topics that we could probably at least glaze over.
Yeah, and then I'm going to use the restroom too. So, so on the gatekeeping topic, I agree. Like, to reference my other hobby, I would like people to not jump the gun. The weird, ironic, metaphor there to use, but to
play on words.
Yeah, not to like 125% full send on something that you don't really understand yet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because like, I would rather take the time to teach and show or whatever something that I know, to give someone the opportunity to have this same experience as I do.
Sure.
So while I agree that like we should, like someone says, kid gets out of high school, gets his first job, is making $15 an hour, you know what I mean? Like, coilovers are, on eBay for $200. That's a
Max
paycheck.
speeding rods.
Exactly, and that's a paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
what that does is that lowers my car. Now I'm in. Now me, 18-year-old me is now in. I'm in the culture now because I just lowered my car. What did that do? Now I've introduced, if I had an older car, I've introduced a plethora of more issues. Lowering suspension adds more impact to other suspension components because of lack of suspension travel.
Your old dry rotted bushings and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I've got control arms that are clunking, which inherently makes things more unsafe.
Yep.
And then I found, camber arms from Megan Racing for $100. That's another half paycheck or paycheck or whatever. You know what I mean? Now I'm doing that. Now I've got 10 degrees of camber front and rear. I still have to drive this car to work or take my sister to school or whatever. And all of a sudden, my fucking bald ass tires have 1 inch of contact patch versus the fucking 9.5 that I was supposed to have on it. And like, I'm lessening my ability or chances to enjoy this car. And this is another hot topic or a hot point or whatever. It's almost the same thing with people who have a shit ton of money and overbuild a car. So they get, shout out to my boy Jeremy. I don't even remember Jeremy Whitehurst.
Sounds very familiar.
He had a silver R32 back in the beginning of our days, but he never became. He's one of my closest friends. He's an outstanding human being. You'd love him. He just is very unapproachable, and he has a face that's punchable. So
Understood.
But he has, and he loves his car. He has this 996 turbo that's 1,000 horsepower. It's meth E85. It's fucking dude. It's fast and it brakes. I've never felt a car launch and brake like 0 to 60 and 60 to 0 in the same amount of time frame. It's crazy. But when we went to go do a cruise, we had to take cans of race fuel or E85. I don't remember what he was running, either 110 Ron or E85 with us because he got 4 miles per gallon on a 150-mile cruise.
Yeah.
At what point is it too much? You know what I mean? Like, so
I was just talking to my coworkers literally yesterday about, no, it wasn't yesterday. It was yesterday.
Yeah.
We were talking about people that overbuild cars because I have several friends that I could name, but out of respect to them, I won't. But I know we obviously have a lot of mutual friends, and there's a number of people that we know, specifically with rear-wheel drive American cars, that they just overbuilt them to the point that they just didn't even want to drive them anymore because it's like you said, they would throw all this power at it, but then now this other component is like glass. It's just waiting to break.
Yeah.
And like I'm all for, progression on a car, but I think especially when you're talking about performance stuff, because to be fair, I mostly build cars more on like character and style and aesthetics. I'm not necessarily chasing a lap time, a quarter mile time, a horsepower. I don't really care. Right. It's cool, but like that's not my bag.
Sure.
But I have a lot of friends who that is their bag, and that's cool. Yeah. But instead of like building their car, instead of building their car based on like the need, like, oh man, like I'm stale. I can't beat my former lap time. Like I'm now matching the limitations of the car as a driver. So now I can upgrade the car a little bit further and then kind of work up until, I hit a ceiling again. They're just like throwing as much money as humanly possible at the car, putting all this stuff on there that they don't really need. They're just thinking that they need it because they're like, it's what the internet told them, or, they just, there's no real justification for it other than like, I just want the best. But I'm like, but it's not, like you said, it's not necessarily feasible for how you're actually using and driving the car.
Yeah. What was the purpose?
What was the purpose? Yeah. Just to say you have it so you can make a video or post an occasional picture of it, but then it just sits in your garage and collects dust because it's miserable to drive. Or in many cases, it's just basically damn near undrivable. Like what's the point at that stage?
I think that comes into like, so to close the gatekeeping topic, I think like I agree that it should be held, that car modifications or doing stuff to your car should be held at a standard at some point, but I think it should be open to everybody. As long as the younger generation should, be open to learning or open to reaching out to learn.
Absolutely.
But you bring up a good point. what like when we modify a car, like when I bought the B5 or when we bought the Mark IV, the conversations that Meredith and I had about what the car is going to be was to build the purpose for the vehicle.
Yeah.
Right. So the Mark II is a good example, right? The Mark II GTI was a car that Meredith built. It was always supposed to be just a secondary car. It was not a means of transportation. It wasn't it can be whatever the hell it wants to be. It could be, whatever, because we're not dailying the car.
Right.
That spawns the build progress for that vehicle. Now we've understood what the purpose of this vehicle is. It is a quote unquote show car, right? It's not supposed to be driven. What does that do for me as a person who sits and builds cars? I've now understood that all the creature comforts for this vehicle can now be eliminated, right? So now we can, shave the bay, remove the AC, remove the heater core, remove, things that are not necessarily important for daily driving or creature comforts and so on and so forth. And so when Meredith and I bought the Mark IV, it was like, what are we doing with this car? Do we got to pull the motor out, make it a high horsepower NA car? Do we do, suspension modifications? Do we add things to it that, sway bars and, stiffening and, lowering it? How low do we want to go? Like, all of those things were important parts of the car. But what we came to the same conclusion is that we want to fucking drive this car.
Yeah.
So it can't be overbuilt in sense of like, all right, we're going to put the stiffest suspension, which ironically is not the best performing suspension, but to make it look like lower, in my opinion, lowered cars always look the best.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's just,
I don't care. Regardless of what kind of car it is.
Exactly.
It looks better lower.
Minivan, slammed. Truck,
Yeah.
slammed. I don't care. But like, we got to the point where like, if we were to buy suspension, it would have to be, it would look good, but it also has to perform well.
Yeah.
And so then we got into like the smaller bits, like suspension components. Getting into bushings, you can polyurethane everything.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks.
And vibrate your fillings out.
Yeah, exactly. And so like, back to spin this back to car culture, when cars are built with the purpose of, look at me, I've built this demon camera, such and such thing. What does that represent? You know what I mean? Like I don't understand it. I think the reason why I don't understand it is because I've never been able to like buy a car and just be like, and just hate it.
Yeah. Because you're going to tear it up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like using my cars and, past and present as an example, like my truck is low.
Yeah.
My 3000 GT is very low. My Miata was low. But like, they're not low to the point that I can still use them as a car. Like, I have never, so I take the 3000 GT, or I have taken the 3000 GT almost every year down to Beach Bash, the Outer Banks. I don't trailer it there. I drive, it's like a 4-hour drive, and it's a low car. And I get in it and I drive it. And I'm not knocking people if you have vehicles that you trail. That's not the point.
Yeah.
I'm saying that a lot of people build cars, like what you were saying with like the Demon Camber and it's, whatever. And I love, me, I'm a big static purist. I love, but I still like my 3000 GT is in my opinion, respectfully, is the perfect blend of like, it has aggressive fitment, it's got some camber, but it's only got enough camber
to make the wheels fit?
To make the wheels fit.
Yeah.
I see people on like these pages on Facebook where they're like, they'll have like stock wheels and they're like adding camber soon. And I'm like, why?
Why? What's
why?
the purpose?
You're literally just wanting to add camber just to have camber. Like, we grew up with like the whole like stance scene or whatever in the US when it kind of took off in the early 2010s. The mentality is like, all right, I'll put stretch tires and I'll do camber based on the need to fit the wheel to the car. You didn't go beyond what you needed.
Right.
You just got it to just enough so you had the credit card fitment. And that, like my 3000 GT, I kind of built it with the early 2010s mentality of like, I almost kind of wanted the car to look like it was built in that era, even though we're like 15 years removed from it, because that was kind of where we kind of peaked.
Yeah.
And then it turned into like, all right, well, now I'm just going to add another 10 degrees of camber on top of that. I remember when like 5 or 6 degrees of camber was considered a lot.
Yeah.
And now it's like we're double digits. People are tucking like half the damn wheel. And I'm like, but why? Like that, there's no way there's no way, one, that
Yeah.
you want to drive that anywhere.
Yeah.
There's no way, two, that like in some cases that you even can.
Yeah.
You can, with the caveat of, you're just destroying your car. And I'm like, I take a lot of pride personally in my 3000 GT. It's low, but like you look up underneath of it and like there's no rust. Like everything it's nice. It's a presentable car.
Yeah.
So like there is like a line, like even as someone who's been a diehard like static purist and I love slam cars, and I like a little bit of camber, a little bit of stretch.
Sure.
But there is a point where it's like you're crossing that line where it's no longer tasteful. It's no longer even a car. You can't even use it as a car. You can't even hop in it and drive it and do things, the intended things with it.
Right.
Like I'm not going to go track my car or anything because it is useless in that regard. But I can go and get in it and drive it hours, plural, without a second thought.
Yeah, and I think that also goes into like the love for the vehicle, right? Because like, and it's different kinds of love, right? Love is a really weird word to use for this. I think, or like care, right? So what I mean is, I don't want anything to happen on Mark 432, right? Like in a bad term. So I also want to be able to drive it. So I'm not going to like boost it and then, on 100 and some thousand mile motor without rebuilding the entire motor. Because I'm going to blow it up and I don't want to blow it up. I want to drive it. So like, but it also is like people who build cars that they have no care for what the outcome is of the car, because it's like, it's meant to either be destroyed or its purpose is to get attention or whatever. Yep. So it's like a weird line, and like, I can't understand buying something and then destroying it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But the formula of what you're talking about now, for us, right? So there's the formula of, fitment. It's like, all right, we get the wheel to be just enough to be, flush, and then we want to.
Yeah, there's no gap or anything, but your car isn't just touching the ground either.
Right. But also, I want to be able to, fit the wheel and the tire and so on and so forth to get everything to line up. I think the formula now is how, if I go to buy a lip for a 3-piece wheel, what's the max setting?
Oh yeah.
And then how much camber can I add? Yeah. And then how do I get that fit? And it's like, that's just the common formula for that.
I've been watching, like I was saying, Brian Scotto's podcast. He's been doing a bunch of them. And I'm just like, damn, it's so fun just to like kick it and just shoot the shit with somebody that's like-minded. And just kind of, we would be having this conversation even if there wasn't cameras. And it's like, it's cool just to go and take that and then share it with other people who also might think like us. Yeah. I don't know. I think podcaster. I've always wanted to like get involved with podcasts.
Wait till we get the microphones and shit too, and everything changes. Like,
hell yeah.
I don't think we need it for right now, but I think like the whole reason behind this in the beginning was like, dude, there are so much things like for instance, like the new cows. There was so much build content that we could have done because we just fucking built everything there that we could have just made like our own channel based off of that. And like, while I remember them and they were great memories and whatnot, like new concepts could have been huge if we just documented the stuff that we did. Yeah. But I think the purpose is like, because there's like Northern Virginia is in my opinion, like a gem of car culture, because there's so much of it here that it's like saturating, you know what I mean? But it's hard for you to like pull people's opinions and builds and whatnot, because like there's just so much. Like, all of my friends are car friends. You know what I mean?
Same. Yeah. Like for my birthday, it's like 95% of people there I met through cars. And there was like that 5% that I didn't meet through cars. Yeah. And they were, they don't get around. They still acclimated to everybody fine, but it was just kind of like that painted that picture for me when I was like, cars. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, these like 4 people I know through like work or through something not cars.
Right, exactly. And I think that's actually a big portion. It's like when I had a conversation with my parents not long ago about how I met certain people, like Nate Hansen, right? He got me into like federal contracting and whatnot. I gotta cut that out, fuck. So Nate Hansen got me into like my job, my career path. He started everything for me and like built that way for me. He built like our friend group and whatnot, which was like the start of what I thought that my friend groups were going to be for the rest of my life, even though I was a car person before that. And I had a whole bunch of friends as car people then. But like sharing that experience and New Concepts was like, we were building together, and that like opened up an entirely new, like, imagine how rare of a situation that was. To go to a home that had a lift and had a big ass barn,
Dude,
and you would build stuff on.
I miss
Yeah.
the Noakesville house.
Yeah, dude.
So much.
I know.
I in the moment, you know, and I obviously I was never a part of New Concepts. I was always very, well, you know me, for the longest time I was very anti like car clubs, just because I don't know. I just for a long time I thought car clubs were kind of like cornball and stuff.
Yeah.
As I got older, I realized like I'm hanging out with these guys anyways. They're not asking anything of me other than just to like throw a sticker on my car and like park with them at a show, which I was like already parking with them at the show and hanging out with them anyways.
Yeah.
And that's when I eventually joined up with Exclusive because, you know, I've always been really good friends with, you know, your AJ, your Neil, your Rasika, like all those guys, you know, Corey Fogle, Steven Jones, like those are my homies.
Yeah.
And then of course I have my other, like, even beyond that, I have like my best friends who like, you may or may not have met them, but like Jeff Nozar and Chris Nightingale, Michael Richards, guys I grew up like high school and stuff building cars with. Like we were out in like my gravel driveway in my parents' house circa 2004 turning wrenches on my FCRX7, and Jeff had like an 03 Civic and Chris had he had like a late like an 86 Camaro and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was never part of New Concepts, but I was like a friend of New Concepts, obviously. Yeah. And so I always got invited out to that house. Yeah. And dude, just to even go out there and like someone would have their car in the lift and you pull up and the vibes and people were you just crack a beer, someone's grilling burgers and like, dude, it was like the scene from the original Fast and Furious.
100%.
Where they're all hanging around, you know, and you know, cooking burgers and drinking Coronas. And it's like, you kind of have that aha moment where you're like, dude, these people like inadvertently become your family because you share so much of your life with them. You share so much in common interests, and you do things together, and like it just strengthens friendships and creates this sense of unity.
I owe part of my life to Nate and like New Concepts because of that showed like, again, this is the spawn of Instagram. So it was like when it was like kind of going at the time, like post 2015 era, right? So it was like, that was like when like social media was starting to catch up, but it was like our medium for engagement with other people was come to the fucking Nuke house. We're gonna build cars together. We're gonna shoot the shit, talk, whatever, build shit, come up with crazy ideas. And so like now for the rest of my life, right? I've understood that that's exactly like what I'm going to do when I have my own property, right? Like when I have like a shop or like, you know, a house that can accommodate, you know, that many fucking people. Like, dude, we had 2 levels of parking at his house.
I know. Because you could park people across the street.
Or in the back.
Or in the back.
3.
Well, there was a big driveway.
Yeah, exactly.
You could park on the lawn. You could park in the back.
Yep.
You had like that random like lot in the back.
Yeah.
You had the shop, and then across the street, they were friends
neighbor?
with the Because I remember there was times when I had the SX4 where I would go to like a party, like a Halloween party, and it would like be full, and like Nate would call me, and be like, "Yeah, dude, just park across the street." Like, you had so much capacity to have people there. It was awesome.
It was a blast, dude. And I think like that kind of experience was like the pinnacle. And I've always wanted to like document and showcase like, hey, this is how car culture should be. You know what I mean? Or like how hanging out with your homies should be. It's very extreme. You know what I mean? Like not everybody can afford to fucking fit 50 people in a house or in a driveway. You know what I'm saying? So, but like that was the goal, the dream. That was like the objective. Is like we're gonna make a club or a gang of homies that, you know, pool money every month to go host events, to do shit for car culture. It was for car culture. And then it was like how to build and whatnot at the same time. And so
I will definitely say, I think that New Concepts as a group did a lot of positive things for the local, like
Hell yeah.
Every year, when New Concepts was hosting one, if not two shows every year, it was like an annual thing.
Yeah.
Those were like some of my most favorite shows to it. Like I looked forward to those because I knew that everybody that I really cared to talk to and to chop it up with was going to be there.
Yeah.
And I mean, New Concepts always did a good job. Like it was very organized. Like
hard.
Like the layout and the parking and like everything was always very organized. You guys always put thought into like your trophies, to your merch, stuff like that. And so it was, you look back on it now and you miss it. It's not there anymore. And it's like
dude.
there's some like little, like I'm friends with a couple guys on Instagram that like, I don't know if you've heard of like Capital Mischief. Despite what their name would have you believe, like they're actually a very chill group of guys, and they like have hosted some. They actually did a big show at a Mitsubishi dealership that I didn't know existed in Maryland late last year.
Oh shit!
And it was an all Mitsubishi car thing, and like the Capital Mischief guys, like they don't even have Mitsubishis. They just saw an opportunity to collab with this dealership, and they put together this they had food trucks and like they rented out the interior like of the dealership. They had a bunch of modified like Evos and stuff inside the dealership. So cool.
That's
so there is little groups stepping up
that
are kind of filling that void that New Concepts inadvertently left when New Concepts kind of
fizzled away.
I'm not trying to say in a bad way or anything, but it just stopped being New Concepts for one reason or another, whatever.
Right.
But man, like it's like in that moment when we were living during those years, doing car stuff, it's like we didn't realize how good we had it.
Dude.
It's like you don't realize how good you have it until it's gone.
Dude.
And like, man, I miss the New Concept shows. Those were bangers, dude.
I think that's the hardest concept of reality to grasp is trying to bring back what it used to, like how things used to be, dude. Like,
yes,
hindsight is 20/20, right? If I had known I shouldn't devote more than 50% of my fucking salary to cars, that I wouldn't be into like debt, growing older or whatever. But I wouldn't, like, I don't think I could. I don't regret any minute of it.
You wouldn't trade it because,
I wouldn't trade it.
like, I could go back and do a lot of things differently, but what you do and who you meet and all those things, like those define who you are today.
100%.
And so, I mean, I unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, I'm a very, 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 very nostalgic person. Like I will be the first person to admit that I let nostalgia define and dictate my happiness present day.
Okay.
Because, and it's not to say, and I try to explain this to Erica because like I don't want her to think that like I'm not happy with my life today.
Right.
I've been very grateful to have, I had a very good childhood, like my 20s were rad. My 30s have mostly been, rad. And like I've had a lot of really cool moments and experiences throughout that. And kind of like what we're talking about, a lot of things have changed. Not necessarily for better or for worse, they've just changed. They're different. And a part of me clings to the past and like I want to recreate that feeling that I had during this year, during this moment, this car show, this party, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Because things are so different now, and it's like hard for me to like, sometimes it's hard for me to like mentally adjust to how different things are.
Yeah.
Where to me, sometimes I just go and I just live in the past and I reminisce. And then that unfortunately jades me from seeing what's like, from being present in the moment. And that was like a big, I'm not big on like New Year's resolutions just because like I never stick to them, but like I would say a goal that I have, just not just for 2026, a goal just in general is to be more present and to live in the moment. Because 10 years from now, you best believe I will be nostalgic for what's going on right now.
Bingo.
So you gotta live in the now because you always think it can't get better than this or whatever, but like it can because you define your own life.
Yeah.
So
that's huge, dude. Like
I'm a very layered onion, Kawa.
Yeah. That's why we can sit and just shoot the shit, dude. Like I keep forgetting that we're on a fucking camera sometimes or mic'd up. Like I guess I have had my experiences with like nostalgia because of just like you said. I mean, I miss when things used to be.
Dude, 100%.
But it has driven so much of the reason why I don't fucking stop now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but like Meredith and I's goals and ambitions are centered around, car stuff, right? So naturally, like it's boy logic, as they say. Get a better job and work for a better career so you can have a better car. You know what I mean? Or build
bigger garage, keep them in.
Yeah, exactly.
So you get more cars.
You get more cars.
I am right there with you.
Yeah, dude.
Right there with you.
And because of the privilege that I had to experience what like New Concepts was and the car culture that we had, then I have no other desire but to build a shop and then just fucking have people over on the weekends and we just build cars. This time is going to be a lot less drinking. Like I've cut out alcohol completely. And so I'm trying to maintain that because I don't want to associate alcohol with a good time anymore. You know what I mean? So not that I want to drink for a bad time, but I'm
gonna put a pin in that. I want to circle back to this.
Yeah.
Keep going, but I want to go back to that topic.
Yeah. I think that the goal that we have is to set up a place that we can just hang out and do car shit again. It's coming back, and that has been, DI aside, Meredith and I's goal, and now that I've spent this year in like solitude and making videos and building cars and whatnot, and I'm trying to come out and like be more social again and present.
Yeah.
I've spent so much time reflecting on the past and being nostalgic that I know what I'm going to do in the future.
Makes sense.
And so
it's like you learn from your past, and you look at things you did and things that shaped you and brought you to where you're at today.
Right.
To know kind of how to lay out your framework for your future and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish.
Yeah.
So.
And dude, all the people that think about all the people that we've known for the last few years. They're all doing, I mean, for lack of better words, like the experience that we had in this community in Northern Virginia car culture has left an imprint on people for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people that even have lived here and then moved away, they're still modding cars or they still have they still keep up with people and so I don't think that Northern Virginia gets the car, if you think about our community in car community, like if you were to come from the outside.
We're very spoiled.
Oh, 100%, dude.
I was making a spreadsheet. I'm a very organized person, and I was making a spreadsheet at work the other day in my downtime. I was eating lunch or something. I was making a spreadsheet of all the just the car things that I wanted to go to this year, and just off of what I know so far.
Right.
Because a lot of the pages I was talking about earlier, like Capital Mischief and TNA events, and they have all your local, you got your regular stuff like your Import Expo and all that. A lot of them have already started announcing dates, and it's sometimes I almost feel overwhelmed because I don't necessarily want to build my entire summer just around, I love cars, but it's not like I don't want to do just car things. But again, going back to what I was saying, where I get FOMO, where I don't. But it's that's a good problem to have. It's we have so much accessibility to car things that you hit a point where you're just I don't even need to go to everything because I get my fill by going to 70% of the stuff. Yeah. But you said it best, someone that isn't from Northern Virginia. Yeah. Someone from the Midwest or something. I'm just going to say, Wyoming. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful place. I went there a couple of years ago for for Erica's sister's wedding. Yeah. But it's not to say they don't have any car scene, but it's not at the same magnitude and caliber of what we have, where it's it's no exaggeration. I try to tell people this, my friends that do live out in the Midwest and other areas of the world. It's not an exaggeration when I say that during the summer, if you can't find a car thing to do, like you're not looking hard enough. Like
Yeah.
almost any day of the week, especially any weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you always got Katie's.
Yeah.
You always got Dulles Landing Cars and Coffee, both of which are huge.
Pinnacles, yeah.
And then, I mean, there's, you got Cars and Scars does stuff all the time. You got
Yeah.
all the little pages and stuff that I was talking about earlier, hosting little events and shows. And I mean, it's just,
Dude,
we take it for granted because we're just so like we're used to it. Like that's normal. Like, oh, Northern Virginia, like that's just how it is. But
Yeah.
like unless you're from here and you've experienced it, like it's a lot. Like it's a lot to take in to like someone on the outside looking in.
do you remember the Kingstown meets?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so
I used to drive from Bealton in my slammed Miata, which is easily the lowest car I've ever had.
Yeah.
My slammed Miata, like that was like a good, at least like an hour
and 15.
plus, hour 15 drive in this
Yeah.
hammered Miata, top down, just like bouncing off the road on 60 side, hit big connecting joints and just throw
Just-
sparks and stuff. Dude, I remember one time I drove to the Kingstown meet and I hit this bump so hard that my rearview mirror
Yeah.
fell off, and I was trying to like put it back up while I was still driving, and it was night, and so I
Yeah.
couldn't really like see what I was doing, and so I ended up just giving up, and I just drove, and the whole time the mirror was just dangling off the little cable.
Yeah.
I was like, good God. But yeah, Kingstown meets.
Dude,
Good
so
times.
at some point in the years of 2010 to 2016, 17, I shit you not, there was a meet every single night of the week.
Dude, every single night.
Every
of the
single
week.
night. Monday was, I think, Hard Times.
Yep,
Or
yep.
Tuesday was Hard Times. Monday was, I forgot which Monday meet, what it was.
We had a-
Wednesday was Nova Dubs.
Okay,
So
yeah.
like it was for me, it was Nova Dubs.
Yeah.
Thursday night was Kingstown. Because then Friday was Chick-fil-A.
Friday was Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Later on, though, I think this was after the Kingston shut down. Thursday did the Bricks meets.
Yes.
In Woodbridge.
Yes.
And
Holy
before the
shit.
Bricks meets, though, there was also a big meet at Lowe's in Woodbridge.
And then, wait, Monday night was the meet in Gainesville.
Yes, we did it at Buffalo
Buffalo
Wild
Wild
Wings.
Wings. Yeah.
And then
shit.
there was also a period of time where we would do Checkers meets in
Yeah,
Manassas. There was
oh my
also a period
God.
of time where we would do Sweet Frog meets in Manassas.
Yeah.
There was a forum back in the day called, it was like Virginia, I think it was VA Rides.
Yeah.
VA Rides did a meet at the Five Guys, actually no longer there, the Five Guys in Manassas that was over by the movie theater, over by Wendy's.
Oh, okay.
And there was like the vitamin store and all that. But yeah, there was a big Five Guys meet that was hosted by VA Rides.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a Dunkin' now, or?
I don't know what it is now. Yeah,
Yeah.
they apparently that Five Guys moved.
Yeah.
It's because there still is a Five Guys like down the street in Manassas in front of the mall.
Right.
But
Dude,
yeah,
there was a meet every single day.
every
then,
single
like,
day, dude.
I think I don't know what the meet status is now. Obviously, I don't.
You got the S chassis meet.
Yeah,
which
they'll love
for a
that.
nighttime meet, it's
Yeah.
very chill. Like
Yeah.
I try to go to it here and there. I went to it a handful of times the last couple of years. Beyond that,
Yeah.
as far as like regular recurring meets,
Dude, Friday or Saturday, Sunday, Cars and Coffee.
well, yeah, Cars and Coffee. But then, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of like evening meets.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I'm okay with because I'm almost 40. So like,
I'm in bed by 9.
dude, yeah, you boys. I'm eating dinner. I'm taking my pants off. I'm
Yeah.
gonna like watch some YouTube or play
Yeah.
a video game or hang out with my wife, build a Lego. Like
Yeah.
I don't. Like Thursday night meets, like when I go to an S chassis meet, like I plan ahead. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, 3 weeks from now, I'm gonna make sure I drink some coffee at like 4 o'clock. That'll hold me until I go to bed and everything. Because I mean, I don't have the same energy that I had in my my 20s and stuff.
It's
But
changed.
but like yeah, I mean, we have it pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say the Northern Virginia car scene is very robust.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a good blend of everything. I mean, it's weird. Northern Virginia, there's obviously a lot of money.
Yeah.
So you go to like a car meet, and it's like not uncommon to see like a Key truck
Yeah.
parked next to a Lamborghini Huracan, parked next to like we're close enough to like the country where it's like a lift, like a bro truck with like
Yeah.
American Force wheels.
Yeah.
Parked next to like a slammed S15 Sylvia.
Yeah.
It's
Next
like
to a GTO Ferrari. Like,
yeah, it's very. I mean, I think that's really cool
Yeah.
because we get a little bit of it's very diverse. You get a little bit of everything. Like I love like Dulles Cars and Coffee because there's somebody that you and I know. I'm not going to name drop them, but they were talking a lot of shit a little while back. They're an elitist person. You know who they are.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to like, again, if people are watching, like take a guess at, I'm not gonna confirm or deny, but they were talking shit about Dulles Cars and Coffee because they were comparing it to Katie's, and I'm like, Katie's is very different. Katie's is cool if you want to go and look at a bunch of cars that you'll probably never be able to afford in your lifetime.
Yeah.
And that's cool. If that's what you want to go see, you want to go see a bunch of like, you want to go see like just like an F40 and like a Bugatti, like no disrespect.
Yeah.
I like Dulles Cars and Coffee because one, the parking situation is infinitely better. It's just 100%. A big giant parking lot.
Yeah.
And it's a blend. This person was like, oh, Dulles Cars and Coffee it brings out a lot of regular traffic. And I'm like, it's not that it's regular traffic. It's just not a bunch of multi-million-dollar cars, but it's not necessarily regular traffic. Like, yeah, there is some quote-unquote regular traffic there, but there's a lot of cool stuff that goes to Dulles Cars and Coffee.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you get a bad apple every once in a while that wants to like, do a burnout when they leave or something, and they usually get scrutinized and yelled at, at the event and then on the page and are told not to come back. And, but I mean, it's a good, Dulles Cars and Coffee embodies the blend that we have.
Yeah.
Whereas Katie's, in my opinion, and I like Katie's, I'm not knocking it, but Katie's is like, if you want to go see some like crazy, kept in a sealed bubble supercar.
Like an elite showcase.
A retired race car or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to like the Peterson Museum out in California, but in Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
Whereas Dulles Cars and Coffee is more of the everyman, like bring what you got.
Yeah.
And like just kick it and hang out with everybody.
I shit you not. We went to Cars and Coffee one time, and right next to this like 997 GT3, whatever the fuck RS or whatever it was, or it was a turbo or something, was a B5.5 Passat wagon. Okay,
dope.
And it had its hood open, but it looked bone stock. And like Meredith and I were walking, and she's like, "Oh look, it's a B5.5," and I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah, it's got its hood popped up. I wonder what's in it." I get closer, and I see this white pipe. And it looks really fucking familiar. This white pipe goes up and it comes up like this and meets directly to the back of the motor. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, that's a fucking B5S4 motor in a B5.5 Passat.
That's
something
dope.
that does not, like, it's not an option.
Right.
And this dude,
the homebrew.
like, exactly.
Yeah.
And like, he just was like, I had another, was it BPD or whatever motor? Babe, what's the name of the motor? The B5S4 motor? BPD or something. Anyways, so this guy just had a motor and put it in this B5 Passat, and it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. But they like both of those meets have their own rights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, one is literally like, Lydia, you can come back. Lyd, you can grab stuff. The Katie's Cars and Coffee meets. Are great because you get, like you said, you get to see all the things that are unobtainium.
Yeah.
And then you have, the cool, heart-driven builds, or just people just doing cool shit to their cars.
Yeah, bring your unfinished project cars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that it's a huge thing about Northern Virginia. I love we gotta have to start talking about Northern Virginia topics too, because I think this car culture is insane. But like the pin that you wanted to unpin. Alcohol and
yeah. So one thing I've run into, or one thing I've been experiencing recently is like, I have a lot of friends who I still to this day I love them. They're like brothers to me. Mm-hmm. But they're doing like car stuff now for some of these people, and I'm not trying to like talk shit. I'm not trying to. This is just me kind of speaking freely. This isn't not in no means or way, shape, or form a jab at anybody, but I know a lot of people that I hang out with where it's like I get the impression that they won't go do a car thing unless it involves alcohol, which sounds weird now that I say that out loud because I'm not saying they're big into drinking and driving. I'm saying that they don't want to go to a car thing unless it's like at a brewery or it's like if it's like just a standalone car thing, they're not inclined to come. But if it's like a car thing, but like, hey, we can go look at cars for 4 seconds and then go into a brewery and drink. And I struggle with that because like I like drinking, but I don't let it define me. It's not like a hobby of mine. Like I have definitely slowed down on drinking because I have a lot of gastro issues.
Yeah.
And so like there's things that like I can't, like if I drink like beer screws big time messes with me because it's
huge,
because I have Crohn's and it has, you know, yeast and a lot of carbonation, like it does damage to me and I have to pay for it the next day. So a lot of times I kind of like weigh it out of like, is it worth it?
Right.
Now I do collect bourbon and you know, bourbon is something you sip, you drink it very slowly, you enjoy it. You're not like crushing it. So like I've slowed down a lot in my drinking, but I guess what I'm getting at is it's like, I almost fear that we're losing like the common ground of like, we used to, like me and a lot of these friends, we used to just hang out just on the principle of like, we wanted to just do car stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's like almost there has to be an incentive. I can't just be like, hey, come out to this car thing with me. I have to incentivize them with, oh yeah, there's going to be alcohol or, you know, and it's like that, it bothers me more than it probably should because I mean, people are free to live their lives however they see fit. So I'm not at all saying there's anything wrong with them wanting to, but like, I wish that a lot of these friends, I wish that we could go back to what we used to do, which was like, you went to the car thing.
Checkers meet.
Yeah, exactly. There's no alcohol there. We just hung out and like shot the shit and talked about cars and like, and I get that like I'm getting older and stuff and like, you know, the appeal of like, oh, let's go stand in a parking lot until, you know, 2 a.m. I get that as we get older, that appeal kind of dwindles.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of car things that I've gone to. Like there's a lot of car things that I went to last year where it's like, I think deep down, a lot of these friends that I have would have genuinely enjoyed going despite it not being like based around alcohol or based around like whatever, just to enjoy the cars. But it's like convincing them and getting them there to prove that to them has been a big challenge for me. And again, I'm not at all saying, I'm not passing judgment. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them wanting to go and have a drink. That's fine.
Sure.
And because I still drink. So I'd be like, you know,
we'll have a beer.
Pot calling the kettle black. But like, it has been, the older I get, it's been increasingly more difficult to convince a lot of these friends to come out, bring their cars, and do things in a car-only setting. Right. It's like, it's hard to keep their attention. They're like, oh, well, it's like, you know, like it's almost like it's boring to them unless it's like an ADHD thing where it's like, well, we could look at cars, but it'd be more fun if I'm looking at cars with a beer in my hand. And I'm like, but
fundamentally, why? I think that comes down to like the reward system that we've built with like having a good time is paired with alcohol. So that could be like example like weddings, open bars. You go to a 10-year reunion for high school usually at a bar. Yeah. And then a lot of like social gatherings in America are revolved around, like you go to your friend's house for dinner, you bring a bottle of wine type shit, you know what I mean? And so like the reward system for that I think is revolved around alcohol, but as a culture for American society, which is fine, right? And like that, all said and done, that's fine. It is contradicting to go to a car event and then drink, right? Because like we're driving cars, we shouldn't be drinking. But and I'm not, again, it's the same for me. Pot and kettle. We did events at wineries and breweries all the time. I think that before we get into like the solutions phases, that I think the understanding is like we've as a society, in or outside of car culture, have combined the two together for so long that it's impossible to not associate alcohol to hanging out. Yeah. What I've done is I've started buying NA beers because unironically I like the taste of beer. Like it is a very...
As long as it's not an IPA.
Right, as long as it's not...
Anybody who says they like the taste of IPA, they're serial killers, man.
Pine cone water.
Let me just grind up this pine tree. And dude, it's got notes of like dirt. No, dude, it does not taste. People drink IPAs because they're super strong.
Earth tones.
People that drink like the double IPAs, you drink it because you're gonna pay the same amount at a bar for the same, for the pour. And this, like the IPA, the double IPA is like 9% versus like your normal lager is like 4.5. So you're like, IPA. I get it, but like it tastes like shit. 100%.
So I think like before solutions phase, I think like understanding is like a common thing, and so this year was a good chin check for me because I quit drinking like every weekend 2 years ago because of like health reasons. And the same thing too.
Sure.
I realized. I think Zach Humphreys, right? What
Sounds familiar.
Speed Donut Media.
James Humphrey.
James Humphreys, sorry.
Yeah.
He's, and I can't believe I forgot his first name. So James brought this up as like one of his videos recently that I watched that was an important thing too, is like keeping physical and mental health is an important thing.
Yeah.
And then cutting out alcohol was also important. But I think that one of the biggest parts of cutting out alcohol for mental and physical health also it doesn't have to result in not hanging out with friends that still want to drink.
Right.
There are NA options, which I'm so happy of because I've learned to explore the NA option myself. And most of my friends now are at the period, like the New Concepts times, we were getting smashed. We had a place to stay, so everybody was getting fucking hammered. But like, because that house was massive and, you know, we stayed everywhere, like deck, whatever, you could sleep anywhere you want. But like now there's more consequence to, you know, getting hammered, not just legally, but like, physically,
mentally, yeah.
And so I think that there's a change that is coming naturally to our age group that alcohol is more impactful than it is, helpful in like social environments. I'm already warm and comfortable with people like you.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
And I mean, I think that a lot of people lean on alcohol in a social setting as a crutch, where it's like it's almost people just. They have to have something in their hand to drink because it's like maybe they feel awkward without it. It's like if you're sitting, let's say you're at like a social gathering and you don't know a lot of the people there. I think it's just natural to kind of like, oh, let me just grab a beer so I can sit here and just sip on this beer.
Right.
No one's looking at me like I'm crazy versus if you're somewhere and you don't know, and I could even relate this to a car thing where like I get these friends to come with me to these car things. Maybe they don't know all the people there, so they feel awkward. So their snap reaction is just like, oh, let me crack a beer and let me drink a beer.
Yeah.
Because then I'm not like weird. I'm not like the snowman over here just standing out looking awkward.
Yeah.
Just with my arms at my side. But I'm like, you like cars the same as these people. Go talk to them.
Yeah.
Like you got a cool car. They got a cool car.
Yeah.
Become friends. Talk. Like, and again, I'm not at all saying like, that I think that there's anything, and for what it's worth, I do still at certain, like I was at Sunset Cars on the concourse. I had a couple beers there. That's cool. But I didn't go there
to drink.
And I didn't even consider not going there if there was or wasn't alcohol there.
Right.
That was never a thought. It was just like, I want to go because it's like a sick venue. You get, park your car on this golf course, it's networking. Even if they were like strictly like no alcohol strictly prohibited, I still would have gone.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, that's something I've been struggling with in the last couple of years is full disclosure, story time. Beach Bash a couple of years ago, me and all the usual suspects, we all went and rented a beach house. There was a big falling out that happened. And
oh, shit.
And most of which that fallout has been resolved and like, for the vast majority, like of the people that were there, like I'm on good terms with, but there was some fallout that happened, and it was based around alcohol. I firmly believe that if alcohol hadn't been in that equation, that it wouldn't have happened, and that did drive a wedge between me and some of my friends. And again, that wedge has now since been removed. Right. It's water under the bridge for the most part with most of the people. But the reason I bring that up is like I still drink, and like there's some, like I'll be honest and say there's certain friends that I have that, like my best friend Jeff, I know that when I go over to his house, I know we're gonna throw down, we're gonna drink. Jeff and I, like, he's one of the few guys that like he's actually someone that I feel very comfortable around, and when I go to his house, like he's gonna crush some beers, I'm gonna crush some bourbon, we're gonna whatever. But that's like
you're home, you're in a safe space.
It's home in a safe space. I'm not, and it's like I plan for that. Like that's like my drinking buddy, right? Yeah. But like at a car thing, like I don't want to have to, I feel like I don't want to have to incentivize friends to come to it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
You know, like just come to hang out with me.
Yeah.
If nothing else, like as your friend, come to like see other cool cars. You know, like if you like cars, hey, here's cars.
But it's the party that
it's like, oh, well, is there like a bar nearby or a restaurant we can go to? And I'm like, maybe, but like if there's not, just come anyways.
Yeah.
Like if you like cars and you like me, what, like, why do I have to reach to try to like get you to come out and like, because the last couple of years, you know, I've had a lot of success with the 3000 GT. I never built it with the intent of it being a quote unquote show car, but it does fare well at car shows when I show it,
100%.
even the indoor shows, and like getting my friends to come out to these indoor shows because it's like a day-long commitment.
Yeah.
It's like pulling teeth.
Yeah. And
it's unfortunate because a lot of these guys were guys I used to do this with, and they're like, they'll say that like, oh yeah, you know, they've kind of grown out of it or whatever. And and to each their own, and that's fine. It's sad to me because like I'm at a point in my life where I'm at a much better financial point where I'm at in my life than I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And like I have the financial means to build these cars and to do these things and to travel to these car shows now.
Yeah.
Whereas, let's say 10 years ago, I didn't when they were doing this, you know, because we're all cut from different cloths and their financial situation was different than mine.
Right.
And it's like now, it's like you know the thing of Will Smith at the end of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where he's standing in the room by himself and he's got his hands in his pockets, he's looking around because the room is empty.
Yeah.
That's how I feel a lot of times when I go to these big car shows because I want all my homies to be there with me. I want them to bring their cars, but like it's just
different.
And I've made other friends that like I almost exclusively hang out with at these car shows, and that's cool, and they're great guys, and I love them. But like my core group of like car friends,
You want the homies there.
I want the homies there, and it's like I feel like I go to a lot of these things just solo because like I still want to go, I still want to, you know, show my car, I still want to talk to these people, I still want to go and like, but convincing them to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not, I'm not saying it's because like the guys that I'm referring to, and again, I'm not going to name them because I'm not trying to like, I'm not trying to speak ill of them. I love them to death.
Yeah.
They have my back, but like I did get them to come to a couple things last year, but it's different. And I felt like it took a lot of effort. It wasn't just like, oh, are you free this day?
Yeah.
Oh, you are? You want to come to this thing? Like, oh, cool, bet. It was just like, I had to like create like I had to bust out like a scroll and give them like 24 talking points on why they should come. It should just be,
It's too much effort.
it should just be because you're the homie, because you like cars.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, it should stop at that, in my opinion. But anyways.
There is a lot of, I mean, it comes into, there's so many different reasons, you know what I mean? That like, I like to try to hold different perspectives or stuff like that, right? Because like, I know for a fact that I told myself that I was going to get out of cars prior to district imports, just because like you said, financially I wasn't in the right time and place to do this stuff.
That's why I had a Miata on XXRs.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
It's like what I could afford. I made it cool, but like I can afford to do cooler things now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
And boy logic, right?
Yeah.
Like got a better job, want to do car stuff. And so like people have these, eras or time frames that they can or they can do stuff. Like good example, one of our friends, he has one of the coolest Audi RS3s on the planet, you know what I mean, that he built. It's not a shop car or anything like that. Yeah. It's like he built it to his image and spent a lot of time and money to do that. But he has a kid. You know what I mean? So what's going to happen? You know what I mean?
Put a back seat back in the.
Gotta put a back seat back.
He's got like a full like carbon fiber like seat delete with a roll cage. Like, where's the car seat gonna go?
Yeah, exactly. But like his for example like his last 2 years were like, here's my schedule for car events. Yep. Who wants to come? And so like I feel guilty for not showing up for a majority of his car events, but we came to like whatever we could.
Sure.
And like things changed, but we've noticed like our friend group, like especially when like New Concepts fell apart, like a lot of the homies still communicated with each other, but the events were slowing down. And so like it wasn't necessarily like of course we always drank when we were there, but I guess that wasn't a topic of conversation. We just assumed we were always going to drink everywhere we were going to be at. You know what I mean? But I mean, like it is with current friends and current, lifestyles and so on and so forth, it is hard to maintain that energy of wanting to do car stuff because how much other shit is in the way. I mean,
very much so.
Arguably we're in a worse part of our economy again, so things are getting expensive, and like doing car events is tough, and some people who, the folks that can't, modify, or to work, build, or whatever on their own have to pay, labor prices for stuff right now.
Sure.
And they're fucking through the roof right now, dude. And so like the car, like the purpose, I guess, to play the devil's advocate is like, it is harder to do car shit now because everything is so expensive, labor, time, parts.
Right, and I get that.
Right. But I don't think that, and to go into solutions phase now, I don't think that, like, I wouldn't say lose. I've kind of like alienated myself from a group of friends that weren't necessarily strong car homies. You know what I mean? We were just drinking buddies, and we drank every weekend for years and years. But I've kind of like alienated myself from that because I couldn't drink anymore, and I didn't want to tell anybody else this, but I couldn't trust myself to go somewhere and not drink, even though I didn't want to, because I wanted to have just as much fun as everybody else.
Sure.
The whole concept has changed because I've been learning to reorganize how my brain works and not reward myself with alcohol and reward myself with my companionship of friends.
Yeah.
Being alone for a long time will do that.
Yeah.
You just want your friends. You don't care about the alcohol because the alcohol is always there, and it never fucking helps. And so learning how to change that took a lot out of me that I don't want other people to go through. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want my friends to be like, oh, you're right, I don't want to drink because I don't want to drink. I want to hang out with you, but they have to go through a year of solitude to figure that out. It just sounds stupid. So I think it's hard to reimagine the incentive for people to come hang out again because, in their opinion, they could be doing a million things, elsewise.
And,
that sucks, by the way, because for me and you, car culture, car events is the thing.
And I tried to like rationalize this with Erica, and Erica makes a lot of very strong, valid points. And I agree with the points that she made, in which she was like, she basically said, like, you're holding a lot of people to the same standard of how much you love cars and how much you want to go do things like with cars. They're not necessarily at that same level.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily fair to them.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of truth to that. And there is, and it's and also kind of to give some cadence to these guys. A lot of them are, they personally don't feel like their car is at the caliber it needs to be at to attend X show. I get that.
Right.
Some of them are building cars, some of them have really cool cars. Like, there's some of the guys, like, I think they have perfectly cool cars that they would go tit for tat if they actually brought it out to one of the, like, if Import Expo in DC. Like, drive your car to Import Expo, enter it. I guarantee, even if it doesn't win an award, who cares? I guarantee it'll be very well received. I guarantee a lot of people are going to look at it and be like, that shit's bad.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Yeah.
But I can't convince. It's, at the end of the day, it's their car. It's their, it's their, however they feel about it, it's however they feel about it. So, I mean, I do give, that's why I said I don't necessarily hold this against them. I'm not saying it makes our friendship any less. It's just, this is like a full circle thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because going back to what you see on social media, I watch some of these videos where there's guys that there's groups of dudes that have a big shop and they're like our age.
Yeah.
Like the Drift Games guys or what's that one? They're out in like the Pacific Northwest. They build like super like Bosozoku style cars.
Yeah.
Checkpoint Japan.
Yeah.
Like, there are these guys, and like that's their whole thing. Like, that's their free time is like, let's go kick it where at the shop or whatever, and like build cars. And like, I'm not saying we got to be in the garage building cars all the time, but a lot of the stuff that they do is based around cars.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm very passionate about cars. I mean, it's definitely like, I write about cars, and I do car shows, and I base a lot of my just joy in life around cars. And I understand that, not everybody, all my friends aren't going to be at that same level as me.
Yeah.
And I think I do get jaded by what I see on social media, by what I see on YouTube. And I'm like, well, these guys have it.
Right.
And then Erica's like, congratulations, then move there and be their friend.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, don't stop bitching about like about like what you do or don't do with your friends, and just, I don't know. It's very much like wanting my cake and eating it too, because like I do have a really good group of core friends, or like a brotherhood to me. But I think deep down, like I wish I could get more of them to do more car stuff with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do the car stuff with or without them.
Right.
And it does, like I said, it does, not to beat a dead horse, but it makes me sad when I go to a lot of these car things and none of them are there with me.
Solutions phase, right? So how, and we can land this plane. But so my, and this is unwarranted, so you can tell me when to stop. But like, what I think would be a way or method to solve that kind of issue. Now, I've been to Import Expo, and I've been to a few car shows that are similar to Import Expo. And for me, it's not my type, because there was a lot of, or it's not my type of show, primarily because it was a lot of, there was a lot of cars and people I don't recognize, because it's a fucking massive show.
Right.
But they had a lot of events that I really didn't really care for, like the revving events and like, like things that are like on the border of like, I don't know if this is for me. I can't, unless it's like a VR6, unless it's like it's something I want to listen to, like I'm down, but like the fucking backfiring.
Oh, dude, the rev bomb two-step competitions. I'm right there with you. I think it's not for me. I don't. If people like it, that's cool, and I like it for them. Like, but no, I could do without it, 100%.
So, there's also then like some of the caliber of the cars that are there, like. I don't necessarily want, I mean, and this is just an alternate perspective, like some of the cars I don't want to see, you know what I mean, or don't care to go see, you know what I mean, or to take 3 hours of my time to go see, and like the loudspeaker events and shit, like, you know what I mean, like it's just like, all right, it's like this is a little, it's overstimulating, you know what I mean, I'm too old for this shit. But to the same note, I think that to touch back on like Lowered on the Lawn, the reason why that event appealed so much was because it wasn't static. You know what I mean? Like there was actually things to do outside of being in one place and drinking, outside of spending my money on merchandise that I know I'm going to wear. I loved it. Like I love car shows for that, because I get a whole bunch of t-shirts and shit while I'm there. Yep. And then outside of parking my car in one place, and it has to stay there. For the whole day or 2 days.
That is, I mean, I get that with like the indoor shows, especially is like it's stuck. Once you're there, you're there.
Yeah. And you gotta wait till everybody clears up.
And so talking like solutions, I mean, a couple homies did drive out to DC last year to kick it with me, because I've been going to Import Expo since 2015. Sure. So I've been going for 10 years now. So it's like I've grown a relationship with the people that put on the show. I've grown a relationship with a lot of the guys. There's, like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of, it's weird how I kind of like inadvertently segment my friend groups, because there's a lot of people that I exclusively hang out with just at these bigger car events. I've never hung out with them outside of a car event. And I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but like I've never, like, we see each other at these car events and
fucking homies.
Yeah, we're homies. Like there's a dude that I know named Brandon. He's got a purple Civic. Okay. He's part of Team Emotion. Super clean car.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was at Lowered on the Lawn.
Yeah.
Super
Dude,
clean.
Remember
his car, incredible.
Oh my God,
cleanest
it's my
Civic I've like
favorite
ever
fucking
seen.
Civic, dude.
But like I've never hung out with that guy like this, you know, or like. But we see each other at all the big. We see each other at Import Expo. We see each other at this the Sumo Speed events. We see each other, and like when we see each other, like that's the car show homie.
That dude
like,
was
I'm gonna go talk to that
sweet.
dude.
Meredith and I were shooting the shit with him, and then I was like,
he's cool as shit.
Yeah, we were like, yo, you want to come with us on this cruise? And he was like first person there. He's like, I want to go cruise. We put a fucking GoPro in his car and mic'd it up, dude. Like
the one I wanted to give the award to.
Yeah.
Lowered on the Lawn.
Yeah.
So it's like I think I don't know. Like like his level of energy and passion that he has towards cars matches mine.
Sure.
And it's like I want more. I'm not saying I want to replace my existing friends, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
I want more people like him in my life that I can rely on to like be at these car things with. So I have people of this, kind of cut from the same cloth, same age, age group, demographic, and everything that share that same passion with me.
Right.
Where the last however many years, I feel like I've just kind of been without that, and I think it just makes me sad.
I think the compartmentalization of those things is going to be inevitably what we would have to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have it's like you got your at-home friends, you got your going out friends, you got your so on and so forth, and I love every single one of them in
absolutely
every stretch of the way.
They all have their place in your life,
right?
100%.
And I think it's important to always, that's why we made a Discord channel that's inclusive of everybody. It's like, my, other hobby friends and my car friends are all in this one place. And it's arguably one of like the best things I've ever done because it puts them into one place and they all have different reasons to talk about shit.
Yep.
And so
and they can make friendships out of that. Absolutely.
We did like events and stuff like that together. And so it was crazy seeing a whole bunch of different hobbies and different walks of life like be in one place. But what I noticed was like a lot of the people that like want to stay at home and do stuff will stay at home and do stuff by themselves, or want to be at home on the weekend. And then all the people that will do car shit like without skipping a beat, be like, yo, here's an event, we're going to a car meet, they're going to a car meet. I can't knock anybody for doing anything different, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it is going to be hard to try to separate those two things. I think one of the solutions to car events in general, and everything, like if you want to be able to pull your friends out to go do stuff, fucking prime example, Sumo Speed, Virginia, when we went, was it not Virginia Beach, the one in the Carolinas?
Beach Bash.
Yeah,
which is still the thing. It's
it.
Not happening. It's not in the September anymore.
Okay.
So this year it's in June, and I am going this year, and I'm like, I've already talked to a number of people.
Yeah.
And so we are, going down as a group because we took a break. I didn't go last year because it was a weird. It was like in May or something. I wasn't expecting it, and then the year before that, 24, Eric and I went. Because I think the year that we had like that, what I was telling you, like the fallout, was in 23.
Yeah, I think that
with the drama, and so Eric and I took a break from. We usually would get a beach house with like a bunch of our buddies.
Yeah,
we went. Eric and I decided just 24. We went just the two of us.
Yeah,
and made it like a little like vacation for just the us.
So that's my point.
And that was great.
Yeah,
and I think this year we are kind of getting back on the wagon of doing a group, getting some homies. I think we're going to be. I don't think we'll be as big of a group.
Yeah. So you hit my point. Like we went for Beach Bash twice. I think 21 or 22, 21, 22, I think, or 23. And when we went as a group, we got a beach house. We stayed Friday to Friday.
Yeah.
With the intent to Friday, Saturday, Sunday do car stuff. And then the rest of the week, we fucked off. It was pure vacation with the friends. And that
we basically did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
is amazing.
It brought car homies out, and we actually did not drink anywhere near as much as we did at that time frame. It was awesome. It was like, I don't want to fucking drink. We were just like going out for walks and hanging out. Like Kevin's profile picture, Kevin's like my brother. His profile picture is him and I like at night just staring off into like the fucking like the water.
Yeah.
Like a moon was setting, and it was like to have Kevin's not a car event person at all. You know what I mean? Like he could care less. He's been building cars, professionally for a decade. You know what I mean? Like his entire career is car based. He's seen a lot of cool shit, and he's in my opinion, he's one of the smartest engineers in car shit without a degree. And I don't think he needs one to prove it. But anyways, my incentive was to like when I've been talking to my non-car event homies was, I think that this event could scratch the itch of us going to go do shit like that again.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 to 3 days of driving, and then we just fuck off for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Or that we do car events that are not centralized to being locked in one space. That can be boring, you know what I mean? I love watching builds. Like that's why I do interviews, because I like seeing new builds or new takes to how to do stuff. Some people just can't. It's not their attention span to do that. So how do you appeal to both?
Right.
And I think the activity portion of it is where things would change.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would agree. I think you're onto something, and I think a lot of it is, when we, going back to the nostalgia thing, when we had H2O there for like a decade. That was like, obviously I know H2O existed much longer than a decade, but I'm saying like we attended for about a decade. And that was kind of like in the same vein as what you're talking about with Beach Bash, which was, you kind of make a vacation out of it, where it wasn't like, yeah, we went there to do car stuff, we went there to cruise and whatever, but like there was other stuff peppered in.
Right.
And I think that's where I have to take a step back and realize, like what Erica told me, like not everybody is going to be all in on just the car thing like you are. It's not to say they don't like cars, they intake it differently than you do.
Yeah.
I'm a very I'm an all or nothing kind of guy.
Right.
Like if I'm into something, I'm like all in on whatever that thing is. It's an on or off switch for me. Like,
right.
So like, there's not a lot of things, like I don't have a lot of like casual hobbies. Like I'm all in on cars. I'm all in on like music. I'm all in on, whatever, video games, stuff like that. And I realize that not everybody is going to be that way. Not everybody has that personality.
Yeah.
So no, I think, to kind of what you were saying, talking solutions, maybe I just be more selective of the car events that I, try to rally the troops, if you will, metaphorically, to get them to come to.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, like, I mean, you made you hit the nail on the head. Like, I love Import Expo, but I do understand that not everybody wants, especially if you're not even bringing your car to the show.
Right.
Not everybody wants to just go there in, it's like this. I'm about it because I've been going for so long that I know so many people there that I feel like I don't have enough time to do everything I wanted to do.
Right.
Like, I feel like I didn't talk to everybody that I wanted to talk to.
Right.
But someone that doesn't attend that event every year,
right.
you go and like, you're probably bored after like, you've seen all the cars, you're probably bored after like 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get that. And I think talking about this with you, kind of helps me. It's not necessarily creating the solution, but it is helping to change my frame of mind.
Understanding, right? Because like it is I'm fascinated with fucking human psychology and why things even happen in the first place, or I guess just in psychology in general. Like the concept or spending time with myself and learning shit gave me the opportunity to learn why my friends aren't doing the things that I want to do anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, and like, I cannot, like, meanwhile, I like having these conversations. I actually require these conversations with you because this helps confirm or learn new things about the different angles and perspectives. Like for you, example, like you want to go hang out with your boys and your boys are like, it's just not for me this time. You know what I mean? Like, I understand their aspect of it, but what I didn't understand is how much that hurts you. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, I haven't even thought about the angle that you have. It's like, dude, but these were my boys. I've gone through, just like you and everybody else, with enough changes to be like, fuck it, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not I don't think mentally that's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
To always be like, it is what it is, and this is just the way things are.
Throw your hands up.
Yeah, and just fuck it, whatever. Because like, with enough time and effort, things can change. But there's too many gloves to fit a hand. You know what I mean? That you would want to. You have to alternate one particular product and have them look at it through a different set of glasses in order to make sense.
And I will say, to kind of close this topic out, there, in a weird way, there has been a silver lining to all of this, because as much as I want like my core group of like car buddies or just buddies, whatever, at these shows with me, them not being there has kind of pushed me, because I'm still going to go to these car things regardless, right? With or without, like, I'll go to an out-of-state, like, there's a big Mitsubishi 3000 GT gathering. It's the Mid-Atlantic gathering. It's in April. I went last year. It was incredible. Yeah. Erica, I think, has to, like, work or something. She's like a business trip. Yeah. So I'm probably just going to drive to Ocean City by myself. I don't really care. I'm going to go regardless, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is it kind of created a situation where I go to these car things, or I've gone to these car things, and I don't know a lot of people there initially.
Yeah.
And it pushes me kind of out of my comfort zone, and it almost kind of forces me to go out and like talk to people, other people that I didn't
think you'd have conversations
that I
with?
didn't otherwise know. I didn't know them going in.
Yeah.
That in doing that the last couple of years has inadvertently created a bunch of new friendships.
Yeah.
Because I go to these things, hey, you guys want to come? Nah, okay, no worries. I'm still going to go. I don't want to just be the weirdo sitting there by himself. So like a lot of times people will come over and talk to me about my car, or like I'll do the same. They're maybe nearby their car, and I'm like looking at it, and like I start talking to them, and then next thing you know, like Brandon, like the guy with the purple Civic, like that's, you become friends.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, like I said, there is kind of a silver lining, because I think the silver lining being, if the homies had been there with me, would I have otherwise broken out of my comfort zone, networked, and met these other people?
Bingo.
So, it's almost kind of like I had a full circle moment.
Yeah.
Just talking about this. It's almost made me less sad in a way that like I still always want the homies to come, but it makes me less sad that they're not coming, maybe, because I think I kind of am having like an aha moment of like, yeah, but would you have met these people? Would you have done this? Would you have done that if they had been there?
Yeah.
You would have still had fun with your homies, but you may have not met these other people.
Open your opportunity to doing
exactly.
meeting new people.
This was very therapeutic.
Yeah, dude. No shit.
Very
Like
therapeutic for me.
what the fuck? Like there's so many
It's
times.
like therapy without, this is just like homie therapy right here.
Dude.
So,
I wish there was this thing where it attaches to the back of my neck where fucking hairs start to stand up because of something that you say or the conversations we had that lead to something.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? This is sweet. Like,
yeah.
we got to figure out how to do that. I'm ready to land this plane. I want to be able to, I think the DI's point was we were going to try to co-host as much as can. It's just Marathon Irons. It's a two-man show, right? And I want to be able to, of course, like I want to be able to do the podcast all the time, because, especially with you, because I knew this was going to happen. We're going to have a fucking great conversation. So I was like, throw all my plans for the rest of the day away. We got to do this. I think that the events, like you and I have, I want to work with you on event shit, because I want to be able to be like come to Lowered on the Lawn and see what this pitch that we're gonna put out. Nathan and I are working on making it an active car show. So it's not going to be like there's going to be a show, but we want to spend the time to actually do stuff. And I'll give you an example. One of the events that we want to do is a photography contest, finding a spot, taking a picture, and then posting it either on their website or whatever. We haven't even found that medium yet. But like an active what is it, like egg like an Easter egg hunt, but with taking a picture of a spot.
I like it.
So
that'd be cool.
And we have like a map. We went and did a map. It's a 150-mile round trip, which is fucking long. I think we're gonna chop it to 100. But it is a circle around West Virginia through all the mountains, and there's so many spots, dude. There's just so many beautiful places to take pictures or video or whatever. And it's not even just for the pictures and video. It's just the fucking scenery. Dude.
Yeah.
And like hanging out with homies and be like, everybody stopping, pulling over. You know what I mean? Everybody's got walkie-talkies and shit. And so, regardless, like, I can't wait for you to come, so I want you to experience that and then help me convince our friends to come do this shit too.
Well, like I said, I already got one. I recruited one. I got Corey.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I've talked to a couple of my other buddies about it. So it's at least on the radar. So it's just a matter of, well, the other thing is like Lowered on the Lawn. I mean, for like the lawn, there's only 65 lawn spots.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can still, even if you're not on the lawn, which I know that is, if you got a really cool car, like that is the part of the appeal, is like having your car kind of like front and center, like showcase. But they do have like that general parking. There's still a lot right there where even if you missed the cut on the 65, it should still come out.
They're still coming.
You're still going to be in the mix. You're still going to be enjoying the sights and the sounds and the smells. Like it's still going to be fun.
Exactly. And the air is beautiful, dude.
Oh yeah, it's mountain air.
It's refreshing.
It's because we're not in like the smog of Northern Virginia. We're so used to like just being around all these cities and like everything is just gray.
Yeah.
But you go down to like the mountains out there, man.
The colors,
it's just,
dude.
It's intoxicating.
So I think like to kind of wrap this up, like we've touched a lot about like mental health and social environments or social aspects of things, and why people do things the way that they do them. And I think like coming to that understanding is huge. It's crucial. You know what I mean? Why people do the things that they do, or why things are the way that they are. And like I don't want to leave that. I think coming to understanding of certain things is always step one.
Yeah.
And then like you and I were doing like solutions phase. I'm a project manager, program manager by default, dog. Like I'm always going to come up with the solution.
Same.
When we have the opportunity to make those solutions to bring people back into it, I want to execute on that. So, for our next episode, I know we've touched on a lot this episode, but for the next episode, we can dive into, in the comments if anybody has any particular, subjects they want to talk about, specifically about car culture or car modification choices or whatever it may be. It could be controversial for all I care about, as long as it's about, the main point here is
right.
Cars, camaraderie, that type of deal. I'm in for it.
Yeah.
And you are this was the perfect person to have this conversation with, because you fit all of you've seen it all. You've seen it all. You had the experiences. You're going through the same phases of what normal people would go through in car culture and how to maintain the love for it. And so I can't wait to do the next one with you, dude.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm stoked for future episodes. There's obviously, you and I have talked, offline about a bunch of different things of what we could talk about. And there's, today I think was really good to talk about everything we talked about with, with social media, the kind of the current state of the car scene.
Yeah.
We put on our rose-tinted glasses and talked about, yesteryear and what it used to look like and all that.
Good times, dude.
The best of times.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm stoked for for future episodes, for future topics. I mean, there's probably a million different topics to
go over,
and I could probably talk about each and every one of them for about 1 million minutes.
Yeah.
So no, I'm super here for it, man.
Cheers,
Had
man.
a blast.
Hell yeah! Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me.
First DI show, man. Like
in the books.
In the books, dude.
And today's what, man? We're only
the 10th?
10 days into
the first
2026, man. That's
telling you, this is
first one in the bag.
We can definitely do this once a month, twice a month. It's something that I need to take this time. Again, it's therapeutic, and then two, it's like
very much so.
I fucking love you, dog.
Love you too.
For those that are listening, we're totally making out right now. So
yeah, 100%. We have the mics positioned in a way that it doesn't sound like we're making out, but yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up. Again, Josh, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
This is episode 1 of The District. We're gonna, post our co-host statement socials down below. Hit them up, tag them up there, talk to them about anything you guys have comments, or in the comments, of course. Make sure you put in any other topics that you guys want to hear or listen to. I need that. I want to know if people want to hear our opinions of shit.
Yeah, I would love to hear if people have specific topics that they want to hear us mindlessly gab on about. I would be very curious to hear what those topics
or similar experiences too,
yeah.
right? Because like how much of the car community is feeling the same way with this kind of? Are
we the minority?
Yeah, exactly. Are we the minority?
Are we the okay boomers?
Yeah.
Or
are we bringing light to things that are what people are actually thinking? You know what
right.
I mean? Like it could be something that we talk about, and other people we're just normal ass people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys on the next episode, and see y'all later. Fuck yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, man. That was fun, dude.
That was awesome.
That was a blast.